This conference will now be recorded.
Hello friends, welcome back and let's start. So in the last week we started this batch, and what are the things we have discussed in the last week? So we have discussed about, like, just a recap, guys. We discussed about the what is cloud, as well as what is Azure, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. And from actual Azure perspective, we discussed about how to deploy the basic infra. That means how to deploy, like, VNets, subnets. After that, like, how we actually can create the VMs. And also the most important thing, we discussed about how to deploy the VNet peerings, guys. We discussed about VNet peerings, like how you're going to connect two different VNets, how you're going to route the traffic, and how the traffic is given between hub and spoke architecture. So in this session, what we're going to discuss is, first thing, we're going to discuss about network security groups. Network security groups. And second thing is, we have, like, application security groups. Okay. And we're going to third discuss about, like, Azure firewall, guys. Azure firewall. And fourth, we're going to, if the time permits, Azure virtual virtual network gateway. Okay. So what we can do is, we'll connect a virtual network gateway with AWS infra. So normally we need to use this as a VPN to connect your on premises, but we don't have any data center. So we're going to connect our Azure infrastructure using virtual network gateway to AWS infra. So in order to do this one, you should have a limited knowledge on AWS, and how to know how to deploy things in AWS. Okay. So these are the things. If the time permits, then we'll think about it. This is the agenda for today, guys. Okay. Now, in order to achieve this agenda, by the way, in order to achieve this agenda, so what I'm going to do is, I need to deploy an infrastructure, something like this. Okay. So the infrastructure I'm going to deploy is, first I'm going to create a resource group. By the way, I'm going to create a resource group, and I'm going to name that as hub-rg, guys. I'm going to name that as hub-rg, hub resource group. Actually, in the hub resource group, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a VNet, a virtual network. So I'm going to give the VNet as, like, a hub-vnet. Okay. And I'm going to give the IP ranges 10.1.0.0/16. Okay. Hub VNet 10.1.0.0/16, actually. So here we're going to gradually develop this infrastructure, guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have a multiple things here. We're going to deploy the firewall, as well as like a VNet gateway, but it will gradually, we're going to develop this. Along with this one, what I'm going to do is, same the VNet, similar to the VNet peerings, I'm going to have I'm going to create a one more resource group, and we're going to give the name as spoke 1 RG, spoke 2 RG. Okay. Spoke 1 RG, and we're going to give spoke 2 RG. That means these are spoke RGs, where you actually put your application, spoke 2 RG. Okay. So obviously this is also having a VNet, by the way. So, and you know the rules, you should not have the VNet with the same IP ranges. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to give the spoke 1 RG VNet. I'm going to give spoke 1 VNet, and I'm going to give the ranges as 10.10.0.0, or I can do one thing, I'm going to use like 172 range, guys, because you can use the private IP addressing. I'm going to do 172.16.0.0/16. Okay, I'm going to copy this, by the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more here. So let me put like this. It'll be 17 actually, and I'm going to give the IP addressing for spoke 2. So I'm going to copy this box here, and I'm going to give the spoke 2 VNet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a server, guys. So you can put multiple servers, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a VM here. Okay, so the VM should be something, most probably it is going to end with IP address called 1.4. I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to give the IP address as it will be like most probably 172.16.1.4. Here it will be 172 and 17.1.4. Okay, this is the infrastructure, and what I will do is I'll basically create a VNet peering, guys. I'm going to create a VNet peering between these two. So what I can do, let me create a I'll do one thing. So this is a VNet, right? So to this VNet there should be like this. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically give this is VNet peering, VNet peering, and similarly this is a VNet pairing which has which will basically connect your spoke VNet to this VNet, because I want to explain the whole hierarchy, guys, what exactly we're going to do today actually. After that, okay, now if you understand this design, it will be easy for you. So we'll have one more two things here. One is we're going to have internet, guys. Okay, the other thing is I'm going to use like AWS infra. Here basically internet, this is internet, and I'm going to say this is AWS infra. I'm going to draw this AWS infra later. Okay, now the plan is so we will actually get the traffic from this VNet, by the way, and this should actually one arm, it should go to the internet. The other arm, by the way, should actually come and talk to, or I can do, let me do one thing. I should have one more arm which will actually come and talk to AWS, guys. Okay, talk to AWS here. So this is what we want to achieve. Now in order to achieve, we're going to use firewalls. I'm going to use the firewall, as well as I'm going to use a virtual network gateway to achieve this feat actually. So what will happen is, so I'm going to have basically like I'm going to draw a green one. Okay, so I'm going to draw a green one, and similarly I'm going to draw one more, which is basically this time it's a blue one. Okay, and then I'm going to name it as Azure VNG. I'm going to mess VM means Azure Virtual Network Gateway. The other thing is I'm going to say Azure AW Azure Firewall. Okay, depending upon our configuration, by the way, depending upon our configuration, how you do that, this traffic will come here. Okay, and what it will do, it will get divided whether it should go to it should divided whether it should actually go to the virtual network gateway to go to. I gave reverse, guys, so sorry, I'm very sorry. It should be reverse actually. Give me 1 minute. Now what you can do is you can actually explain this as an environment which you are working in if you go for an interview. By the way, this is, it should be VNG. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is the traffic, right? Come on. So what will happen is the traffic will basically divided between the Azure firewall, okay, as well as it is going to get divided along with the, if it is needs to go to depend upon the routing table. You understand when I configure the routing table, by the way. uh, okay, and then obviously the traffic actually flows to whatever we said, right? So it will be, it will actually go, or I can simply say like do this one. And also the traffic, the green one also, what it should do, it should basically like this is what it should happen. Overall this should happen, but in order to discuss all these things, right, so we need to go in a manner. First we need to discuss about the security groups and then application security. This has nothing to do with firewall and everything, guys, but you need to know what exactly they do, because this provide the inbound and it actually provides the inbound and outbound traffic. Okay, and later we're going to do this firewall, and virtual network gateway will take time. It's going to deploy somewhere like 25 minutes to deploy. So when I'm deploying the firewall itself, I'm going to deploy the network gateway is 12, so that we can save some time. Okay, so if you see, it looks like it looks like a heavy architecture, but believe me, it is easy. Okay, so what will happen is we need to do this step by step. That is why we're going to use completely today and do that one. So step one, I'm going to save this. I'll say like uh, eng azure hyphen b03. Okay, sorry, yeah, b03. I'll say like so firewall and vng. That a picture, I'm going to save that picture actually. Okay, right, let's build up one by one, guys. Let's build this one by one. Again, it will be experience for you to build this one. So I'm going to do it manually. I'm not going to run the script because it's very important you understand what I'm doing. So first things first, I'm going to go to resource groups, add, create a hub RG. So this can be, everything can be done using the command line, but so in order to make you to understand very well what exactly I'm doing everything, so we're going to build the resource groups, VNet peerings and everything. And First we'll check the networks, we'll check the network security, how it works, and then we'll go for firewall. Okay, what it is doing. I have two subscriptions. One is prod and one is development. I go to prod, and this is what I'm going to do. I'll say hub hyphen RG. Okay, hub hyphen RG. So I'm going to select this. East US is fine. Tags, review and create, and click on create. Go on mute, please. So I'm going to create a hub RG. Okay. So go on mute, guys. Who is this? Dell. Whoever is Dell, your name is Dell. Go on mute, please, and give a proper name so that I can see you. Okay. So right, let's create one more. Spoke one RG. So production spoke one RG, and it's a review and create and create. add production, say spoke to RG and create. And I think I am going to do a small change here. Okay, leave it, it's fine. So one, instead of 10.1, I'll do one thing, guys. I'm going to use 10.10 actually. I'm going to give 10.10 because keeping Azure infrastructure also in mind. I'll say 10.10.0.0/16. Okay, I'm going to use this one, right? So I'm going to come here, and now I'm going to go to the virtual networks, guys. So I'll go to the virtual networks. So I need to create 3 virtual networks. Create a virtual network. And resource group is, first I'm going to go with the hub resource group, and I'm going to say, so what is the name we have proposed here, guys? Hub VNet, yeah, or hub VNet 1, hub hyphen VNet 1. Now I'm going to go to the IP addresses here, not 10, I say 10.10 by the way, and here I'm going to give add subnet. So I'm going to give so actually we require 3 subnets here, guys. Actually we require 3 subnets. Okay, I'm going to first create a base subnet. Then the subnet I'm going to give is, I'll say like management subnet, because I'm going to deploy a management server in this one. So management subnet in this one, 10.10.1.0/24. Okay, so click on add. Okay, so I'm going, one is enough. Later I'm going to create a firewall, Azure firewall subnet, as well as a data gateway subnet, sorry, gateway subnet. We can do it later, so no issues. Go to security. So all these things I'm going to, right now it's not required, all these things. So next, tags, review and create it. So we have created a hub network, guys, hub VNet 1, and basically we are actually creating a subnet as well. Second thing is, we're going to create a spoke subnet. As per this diagram, the spoke subnet is spoke 1 is 172.16.00/16, spoke 2 is 172.7.0.0/16. It's not mandatory you need to give such a big subnets, which contains, each subnet contains 65,000. So refer to the old videos where we spoke about subnetting and everything, guys. Yeah, fine. So next is going to add. So what is the name we were planning to give? Spoke 1 VNet, spoke 2 VNet. Yeah, so I'm going to go here. I'll go like spoke 1 RG, spoke 1 VNet. So next I'll say 172.16.0.0/16. Okay, so I'm going to give simply like simply I'm going to give subnet hyphen, that's it. I'm just give plain subnet hyphen 1, or I'll say like a spoke 1 hyphen subnet 1. Here I'm going to give 172.16.1.0/24, and I'm going to click on add. That's it. So security, review and create, and create. Okay, let's get, okay, so sometimes what will happen is it will take little time to get refresh in the portal, guys. Even if you have created like a minute or two, which will get created, so it will take time. So don't worry about this one, it will come. So next I'm going to create add. Again, I'm going to use the spoke 2 RG. Here I'm going to create spoke 2 hyphen VNet 1. Okay, addresses. So here I'm going to give 172.17.0.0/16. Come down spoke to, come on. Okay, hold on guys. So it's created, it looks like it went back. Okay, I'm going to create. Okay, name, what is the name I'm going to give? I'm going to give to the new VNet spoke hyphen VNet. Okay, one spoke to hyphen VNet one 172.17.0.0/16. Okay, so I'm going to have only one subnet. So spoke to hyphen subnet hyphen one and give 172.17.1.0/24. Okay, add security tags, review and create it guys. So we have our base infrastructure ready. We have the networks and subnets basically. Now in order to discuss about network security groups and application security groups, we really don't need to configure the peering and everything. We do all the stuff when we are discussing about the firewall. First, let's understand what is network security groups, and then let me tell you, application security groups is part of a network security groups actually. Now, first of all, what is network security group? Now, before going to the network security group, what we need to understand is you need to understand the basic difference between stateful and stateless firewall. Stateful and stateless firewall. Now, what is a stateful firewall? Stateful firewall is something which will remember inbound and outbound. So if I draw a diagram here, imagine this is your firewall. Okay, so what exactly is a firewall? Firewall is something which is going to allow or disallow or deny the traffic, allow or deny the traffic. So what will happen? Imagine this is basically the internet guys. This is basically the internet. This is basically the internet, and what we can do is imagine these are some couple of servers like a Windows server or a Linux server. Basically a Windows server as a Linux server. I'm going to say like Windows server. Okay, and I'm going to say Linux server, basically a Linux server. Now if you want to connect to a Windows server, you need to use a remote desktop, something like this, right? MSTSC. You're going to use a remote desktop connection, which is by default operated at 3389 port. Okay, whereas if you want to connect to a server, Linux server, you're going to use a putty configuration, which of a Linux operates or can it be managed at using SSH, which is operating at port 22. Right, these are the two things. Now what we can do is this firewall. So you need to understand between the difference between, so let me drag a little bit, right? So what you need to understand is what we call this as a traffic coming from outside. So imagine the traffic is coming from this side to this side actually. Okay, and likewise the traffic can also go from this side to this side. If I say traffic, anything can be a traffic, like the server's trying to get the updates, or it is downloading some patches, everything. So this is basically called as inbound guys. So I can say like I'm going to say inbound. I'm going to mention that in a very red actually because it's danger. So the traffic is coming from outside to inside. We really don't know is a person is a person or a bot, and we're really not sure about is it a good guy, bad guy, what are their intentions actually, right? So you need to be very careful on that one. But if the people connecting to the outside from your server, normally what will happen, your Windows server will go and fetch the patches or download some updates, or you want to download some you want to download some sort of a application and download it, monitoring stuff like that. So it is going from inside to outside, then it is fine. Why? Because only the known people, only the authorized people can actually log into the server and go out. So I'm going to picture that as outbound. So outbound is fine, we're not worried about the outbound, whereas we are very much worried about the inbound. Now what will happen in a stateful firewall? In a stateful firewall, what will happen is, imagine I have my laptop here, by the way. I have my laptop here. So from the laptop, if I try to reach any of the server, by the way, so it can be Windows server or Linux server. So Windows server means I'm going to open MSTSC and I'm going to put the IP address so that it will connect to the Linux server. Whereas imagine the Windows server is something like put like this, like 10.10.10.1.4, for example. This is the IP address which you go if I install a Windows server, right? Let put it like this. And Linux server is, imagine I'm going to get 10.10.1.5, 10.10.1.5. These are the IP address. Now what I want is, I want to connect to these servers. Okay, connect to these servers. Now what will happen, I'll open my laptop and I'll put a MSTSC. Of course the server will also have public IP, guys, by the way. You also have the public IP. So MSTSC, and I'm going to put the normally the public IP, for example, so some public IP, and hit enter. So when I hit enter, what will happen? Okay, so the traffic, it will try to connect. Now it won't connect, by the way, I'll show it to you. So what will happen, the traffic will actually go to here, and it will check if there is any port opened, by the way, on TCP 3389, because that is the RDP port, TCP 3389. So 3389. So what will happen if you have TCP 3389, right? So if it is allowed, now what will happen, the traffic will directly go from here and connect to this server. It is allowed. Now obviously when you say connect to the server, you will get a reply, guys. You have connected and you will get a reply back saying that one will give you screen, right? For example, if you connect to server will give you, Linux server will give you a black screen, Windows server should give you a good GUI screen, right? So what will happen, it will reply you, and the reply will basically come like this, by the way. Reply will come back. Now when the reply is coming back in a stateful firewall, by the way, when the reply is coming back, the stateful firewall will not block it. Basically what it is going to do, okay, you are actually the reply which is already connected on 3389, so you are sending a reply, you are free to go. So what will happen, it will basically straight go back over the internet, go, and you will be able to reach it. This is how the traffic flow will happen. Okay, so the out from when I'm trying from coming from outside, you need to open that firewall port, and in a stateful firewall you really don't need to open the port actually while it is coming back. In a stateless firewall you need to open, but here if the server is directly trying to reach the internet from here, imagine if the server is trying to reach to the internet, right? Now what will happen, it will get blocked actually. The firewall will say, or the security group will say, okay, network security group will say, no, you can't connect. Why? Because you don't have a outbound rule actually to go internet. Then the rule will ask, why you have already allowed the orange, right? Why you are not allowing me? Orange is already gone, orange is already there, why you are not allowing me? Then it will say, see, orange is not, the traffic of the orange line is not originating from you, it is actually connected from the outside. The port is already allowed on 3389, it has connected to the server and it is sending a reply. That is why I didn't allow you. But you are actually, the red line, you are actually starting the connection from inside. For that purpose you don't have any outbound port, you need to add an outbound port to get it actually. If you add, so it will say, if you add an outbound board, for example here, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow you outside. what I'm trying to say is I'm going to allow outside, so you can actually go and connect. Even if I get a reply, I won't allow, I don't deny it. It actually come to you because it is a reply. The blue one is the reply coming from the red one actually, right? So I'll allow that one. This is basically a stateful firewall, guys. This is basically a stateful firewall. A stateful firewall remembers the connection details when it is sending a reply. Okay. Now, if it is a stateless firewall, right, what you are supposed to do is you need to open a port this side as well, by the way. So inbound and outbound both needs to be done. We don't need to discuss that one because the network security groups, right? The networks are Azure NSG, network security groups, NSG, or stateful firewalls. Stateful firewall. So if you allow one side, you really don't need to allow the other side. But we need to test that, right? We need to test that. Now here is the important thing which you need to remember. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's first test it and then we'll discuss about the NSG, guys. Okay. Now, in order to do that, so if I refresh it, I can see like VNet1, spoke VNet1, all these things. Oh, I forgot to give one actually. Okay, it's okay. Let's deploy a virtual machine. I'm going to create a virtual machine. I'm going to deploy a Windows virtual machine, guys, because I'm going to use this machine for later use actually. That is why when you're deploying the firewall, everything. So I'm going to select the hub RG, and the name I'm going to give is management VM1. I'm going to give the name as management VM, and come down. I'm going to give Windows 2016 data center. I'm going to select this one, and 2 CPU 8 GB is fine. It is good actually. So I'm going to give name as, you can give any username Sri and give some 12 character password. Okay. Okay, I'm going to see like at the rate something like this. Now if you see, I'm not assigning anything. I'm basically not assigning any ports because I'm going to open the ports completely, then I'm going to show you. So networking, and this is fine. VNet1 management subnet, and see network security. I'm not assigning anything, guys. Right now, with the start, I'm going to allow all the ports. Okay, so management, I'll disable the diagnostics basically. Advanced, next tags, review, and I'm going to, so you're going to charge for 6 rupees per hour. So I'm going to create it. Now you're going to get the VM get created. Okay, let it come. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also open the, where is this, network security groups. Yeah, I'm going to open network security group. And I'm going to create a security group actually, and I'm going to select the hub RG, and I'm going to give hub RG NSG1. Okay, so go to tags, review, and create. Okay, as I go to that resource, now if you go to the security group, you have something called as inbound rules, which is basically there are some default rules, so which it won't allow any traffic from the internet. If you see, source is virtual network and destination, source is load balancer, this one, and last is DNS. So no one is, nothing is allowed from the internet guy. But outbound rules, if you check it out, outbound, if you see, if you notice, it is allowed to internet. As I said, if you go to this picture, outbound you really don't bother, because only the people we know will go to outbound, but inbound is not allowed, guys. Okay, now let's see what about the virtual machine. So say the virtual machine is created, so I'll go to the virtual machine. Okay, virtual machine, and if you see, this is the management VM which is created, and this is a public IP, guys. What I can do, I can copy this, go here, and I'm going to put it here and connect. Now it is asking the credentials actually. Okay, it's asking the credentials. Now I can give Sri is the username, and what I can do, I can basically give the, okay, I'm going to give hold on guys. Okay, good. So I'm going to basically give yes, and I'm actually connecting to the server. Okay, so but right now if you notice, if I go back to the server, this is the server, right? If I go here, if I go to the networking, you see this network interface does not contain network security. That means there is no rules applied. Okay, there is nothing, no rules, because I didn't assign anything. Now what I want to do is I want to apply this rule. See, right now I'm able to connect to the internet, right? I'm able to connect to the server, right? Now if I apply this one, I should lose the connectivity by, because I'm not assigning, allowing any traffic from here. So that's in inbound, sorry, in our inbound, if you see, I'm not assigning any traffic from outside. Okay, now let me tell you, you can basically assign a network security group to network interfaces, that means virtual machines, as well as the secure subnets basically. Now this is little different in AWS, guys. In AWS situation is little different. In AWS what you can do is, on the virtual machines you call it as security groups actually. But if you take on subnets, it is actually called as NACLs, network ACLs. But it is different in in Azure. In Azure it doesn't matter. See, it VM, normally we don't apply on VM, it is actually the interface. Actually the VM contains network interface, so I could select interface, and subnet we can assign network security group. Okay, it's not different actually. So of course if you want to apply NSG1 to subnet, NSG to interface, you can do that, guys, no issues. But what you need to understand is a security group, network security group, can be assigned to both subnet as well as interface as well. Okay, now what I can do is, right now I'm able to connect to this one, right? So what I can do, I can actually see, go to the network interface, I can assign, or I can assign to the subnets. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to associate to the associate. I'm going to say, see, management VM interface. That means if you assign to the interface, obviously it is the machine only, right? So I'm going to select this. So what will happen is, the rules right now, earlier if I went to the VM, right, you see there is no rules, nothing, it is empty, right? So once this is applied, guys, once this is applied, when I refresh this, you should see all the rules should apply. Let me refresh this, and you should notice, see this network security group. So network security group hub RG NSG1 attached to the network interface, impact 0 subnets but net1 network interface. So what will happen, I should lose the connectivity in few minutes. Right now it is working, right? You can see, I'll do one thing, I'll basically go here, I'm going to right click and I'll say open command line. By the way, I'm going to say like ping www.google.com. So I'm pinging google.com. After some time, what will happen? The network security will take little time, guys. Network security will take little time, and what will happen? The screen should stuck, and what it should do is it will basically going to tell me then connection timed out. Why? The reason it might happen is, if you see in the inbound rules, I don't have anything coming from internet actually. It's only from VNet to VNet and load balancer, but anything into any is disabled. So in a matter of time, it should basically tell me connection timed out, and my RDP should be broken actually. Okay, my RDP should be broken. So that is how, what we can do is you can control who can connect and who cannot connect to this one. So let's get this broken. I think it, oh no, it is still not it. I can see like, it should be broken, guys. Yeah, come on. Why is not broken? Because the security group will take little time to get applied. Maybe the existing connection is going on. Hmm. Why this is taking, why it's not working? So we see we actually applied this one. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me disconnect this and try to connect it again. Normally after some time it should get disconnected, guys. Okay, I'll go into disconnect and I try to connect to this server again. So what is the IP? This is the public IP. See, if it won't be connected, because what will happen, existing connection, that is why it was showing actually. So once we have applied it, right now, if you see, it's not connecting, guys. Even the ping won't work actually. This is how it will basically impacts you. So see, it won't connect. So what I can do, I can basically add a rule. I'm going to add in inbound port rule. Here I'm going to say destination range is 3389, and I'm going to say like allow RDP, allow RDP, and this one. Okay, so I'm going to click on add. See what will happen is, here what you need to understand is here, so any source is any, what you can do is you have multiple options here, guys. Here like any IP address, this is service tag and application security group, we're going to talk later. Okay, so but you can actually select the IP address. See right now, okay, let me apply it. Let me apply it. Now the rule which I'm applying, give the source as any, guys. Given the source as any. Okay, so and if you see, now if you try, earlier it was giving error, right? Now if I try to connect, right, I should be able to connect, guys. So now one thing I have observed in the over a period of experience is the network security groups will take time, guys. In order to apply, right, it will take some time actually. So after some time we should be able to connect this one. And now the point is, not only me, guys, anyone from the whole world can connect actually. So let me see. That means if you see the source right here, the important thing is source. The source I have given here is any, destination is also any, so I can control it. So what will happen if I say any, whatever the machine I apply this security group, it will get access. That's this real danger actually. Let me first, this should work actually. So 3389 port is fixed for RDP. Sometimes what will happen is, we going normally in companies, right, they're going to change that port number. they're going to change that port number so that people can't guess from outside, because everybody knows 3389 a Windows RDP. See, now it is asking. Now not only this one, guys, do one thing, try to check it out. So I'm going to put in chat, I'm going to put the chat in the so if you say 1369 149, what you do is copy that. So and go to mstsc, go to the run command, go to the mstsc if you are using Windows, and paste that and hit enter. It should ask for ID and password. Please check it out. Of course you can't log in because you need ID and password, but you are getting a connectivity, right? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, yes.
Right, that means it is open to the whole world. Now what I can do is I can actually do something here. So what I can do is I can go here, and instead of giving a source hole any, I can select the IP address and give my IP address. My IP address, it can be your internally your different IP address, or what I'm doing is the machine which you are seeing on the screen, right? It is basically coming from AWS actually. I'm actually using this AWS server. See, this is the green VM. I'm going to copy that public IP. I'm going to give something like this and give 32. That means when you mention about a single IP address, you're going to mention as 32. And destination, what I can do, so I can give the IP address of that machine actually. What I'm trying to say is, if you want to only allow to only one machine, so let me see. This is the management VM, right? Most probably the IP address of this one is the private IP will be 10.10 see 1.4. I'm going to copy that. So in the, that means see, the reason is I'm giving IP address is because see IP address, and I give something like /32. So why you are specifically providing 10.1.1.4? Why can't I can also give something like this? If I want to allow only to that particular subnet, I can also give 0.1.0/24. If I give it this way, right? So there is no dot after 0. If I give something like this, what will happen? All the machines inside the management subnet will be accessed by me. But if I want only one server, I basically give that IP address and give 32 basically. Give 32. Now I'm going to click on save, guys. Now what I have just did, I have enabled the RDP, but this time once this rule is saved, guys, you guys won't be able to do an RDP. Only I can do from this machine. This is how what you can do is you can actually control different ports, guys. You can actually control different ports. Okay, so what we can do is right now, that is the job of network security group. Now here is the important point which you need to understand. In Azure, how the traffic flows is, now if you have a server, let's take a Windows server. A Windows server. Now at the instance level or via or interface level, you have a NSG. You can say like so I'll say NSG1, or I'll do one thing like instance level NSG, or I can give what is the name of the NSG we are just using right now, and imagine hubrg NSG1 for example. I'm going to use this one and I'm going to give it here. Okay, now what you can do is once it crossed the NSG1, you also have a subnet level NSG. You have a subnet level, and that means what we can do, you can actually put what you can do, you can put a different NSGs at different levels. Come on. So I'm going to put one more here. So I'm going to create a new NSG. The name I'm going to give is, I'll say hubrg at subnet. I'm going to give subnet level basically. Give subnet level, and then we have internet, guys. and then we have internet. Okay, now when the traffic is flowing, right, so when the inbound is coming, this is how it will be. The traffic from here, it will need to cross the hub sub, I mean network subnet at the, sorry, security group at the subnet level, and then it will go to the security group at the instance level, and then basically it will connect to this one while the traffic is coming in a outside, right? So what will happen, it will basically first it will go to the I mean security group assigned at the server level, and then it should cross the subnet level, and then it should go back. So there are two layers of defense basically if you want to apply. But what will happen is if you use different security groups for hub, like a machine as well as subnet, your management will become big headache, guys. Your management will become a big headache. That is why most of the people or most of the companies, what they do is they will just assign at the subnet level, or they assign at the instance. They'll choose one. They don't choose both, because management will become a nightmare. But we need to test it. What you need to understand is if it is disabled at any one of the level, it won't work. Right now again I'll try to connect again. I'm able to connect, guys. You guys check it out. You should not be able to connect it, guys. Try it, please. Try to take RDP. You should get disabled, or it's going to say unable to connect. Check it out, please. Can you please confirm?
Yes, I can't connect.
Okay, you won't be able to connect because I have applied the rule 3389. Only it should be connected from my IP address only, so you won't be able to connect it. Okay, right. So next will be, next what will happen is next is we need to test this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new security group, and called as hub rg subnet, and then I'm going to assign it a subnet level. When I apply to a subnet level, it will show both the rules there. For example, if I go here, let me show it to you. Right now this is a management VM, right? As you can see, if I go to virtual machines, this is a management VM. In the management VM, I go for networking. In the networking, as you notice, by the way, it is only showing, okay, it is the network security group hub rg ns1 attached to this interface. It impacts no subnet, but it is a one network interface, and these are the rules it is applied. Now what we are going to do, I'm going to basically create a new what is this one, a network security group, and then I'm going to apply that security group to the subnet level. Then what will happen, those rules will also be applied here, and I'm going to deny the RDP at the subnet level. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so for that purpose, again, let's go to network security group, guys. In the network security group, I'm going to add hub rg, and I'm going to say like hub rg subnet nsg. Okay, so I'm going to create it, guys. So I'll go to the resource group. Now if you see, it is not assigned to anything. First what I'm going to do is I don't have anything, guys. I'm not going to allow anything. So what will happen, I'll go to the subnets and associate the subnet. Before also check it out, guys. It's right now it is only showing only one secure, that's it. It's not showing anything else, right? Okay, good. I'm going to associate to virtual network is I have this hub vnet1, and I have one subnet. Okay, and I'm going to click on okay. That means I'm basically assigning this subnet, assigning this security group, which is hub rg subnet nsg, to the whole subnet. Now if I go back and refresh this, by the way, now we should see both. Actually earlier it was only one, right? Now I should see both the security groups. Actually, let's see how it will shows. Now if you see, I should see two. See, one and two. One is this one network security group earlier, the first one hub RGNSG1 attached to the network interface, and it say applies to impacts to 0 subnets and one security group, one network interface. If I go up, it is showing network security group hub RG subnet RG attached to the subnet impacts one subnet and 0 network interfaces. Now here is the problem. In the subnet level network security group, I didn't allow any of the network. Here I applied 3389 by the way, but this is not allowed here. This is not allowed here. So what will happen? I should not be able to connect. Even I won't be able to connect. If I try to connect, if you see, no, I'm not able to connect. Check it out, guys. Now, if I want to able to connect to this one, it should be allowed at your instance level NSG or interface level NSG as well as subnet level NSG. So what I want to apply the same rule, by the way. If you notice, if you see, same rule, I'm going to copy, come here, I'm going to say add inbound rule, and source I'm going to give the IP address. I'm going to give this destination. I'm going to give again the IP address. I can give 10.10.1.4/32. Okay, and I'll say 3389 and click on add. Okay, let's see, guys. So now what we are doing, we have allowed the rules. Okay, we have allowed the rules at this level and this level. Both levels we have applied the rule, right? So what will happen? So if I refresh this, I should apply. So it is applied at subnet level as well as at interface level. So again, I'm telling you, it's not recommended to apply both the subnet level as instance level. Uh, it will basically give errors basically. So but anyway, see, it is allowing you to connect. But you guys check it out. It won't allow you to connect. It won't allow you. So I'm going to give the password. Yes. Okay. Now I'm able to see still now the ping is going at the back end. Now this is how what you can do is you can actually allow traffic at subnet level and this connect. Now what will happen is sometimes if you are using some complex network security groups for troubleshooting purposes, it will become little difficult for you. So what I'm going to do, let me show you something called as a network watcher. Open the network watch. You'll see what the things which you are showing on the left side, these are my favorites actually. So if you want to do some favorites, right, what we can do, we can go to all services here. Let me show it to you. All services, whichever you want. For example, I want, like, for example, imagine what do I want? I want to have like a virtual network gateway, for example, I'll say VNG, for example. You'll get something like this. What you can do is you can basically come here and put a, see this one, select the star mark. When you put the star mark, if you come down, you should see it's added basically. If I remove it, if I go remove the star mark, it's gone. Check it out, guys, it's not there in the left. Put a star mark, it will come. Okay, right. So where exactly I am right now? Why I came, yeah, network watcher, yes. So I go to network watcher. Network watcher is a very good tool to find out what are the effective rules applied on your server. So for that, what I do is we're going to use this next stop IP verify when we're doing the Azure firewall. So don't worry. First, I'm going to do here and say effective security. What are the rules it is getting applied? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically set production management VM. Okay. So what I'm going to do is if I go down, so it need to be checked, by the way. Select the network interface below effective. So it should basically come and come on. Let's see if I IP flow verify. No, it should be effective rules actually. Effective security rules, I need to check it out. So first thing is I'll go here and select the production and management VM, but it should get automatically, guys. I don't know why it is not showing. Select, yeah, here it is, but it should, I have select, yeah. Now it's not actually visible here. Select the network. Now it is going to select interface. Now it is going to check it out. What are all the rules applied for this machine? Okay, so if you see top 50 rules, what we can do is see, okay, these are the rules. Inbound rules, there are two. It is clearly saying it is actually two. I think download it actually. If I click on it, it is actually downloading as a CSV, guys. Okay, and it is clearly showing there are two network security groups are assigned basically. I mean, it is helps you for troubleshooting basically. Okay, troubleshooting, and you can check it out here. It will check it out. It is clearly saying, okay, these are the rules allowed, these are the things it is, inbound rules and outbound, and for this one these are the inbound and outbound. If something is not well, right, you can actually find out from here. Okay, this is how basically network security groups works, guys. Okay, so what are the key points you need to remember? So the key points here to remember is network security groups are stateful firewall. So if you apply one side, you don't need to apply other side. Okay, and secure network security can be applied at interface level and subnet level. So, and you can use different security groups at interface level and different security groups at subnet level. But the important thing here is it should be applied at both. It should be allowed or denied at both levels. So it is, if it is denied at one level, it is going to deny the traffic. So that means it should be, if it is allowed at a subnet level, it should also be allowed at the NSG, I mean instance level actually. This is how security groups, network security groups will work. So in the network security groups, here when you are actually doing this stuff, right, you can actually inbound rules, right? What you can do, you can basically add any, that means from anywhere. You can also mention the IP addresses. We are going to talk about service tag and application security group, guys. We're going to talk about service tag and application security group later, so after this one. So this is how basically network security groups works, guys. Any questions here? Anything you didn't understand?
Sure, Neeraj here. When you create a VNet or subnet, network interface will be created automatically, or we need to create.
Come again, sorry.
When you create a subnet, the network interface will be created.
No, you're not getting it. See, network interface belong to virtual machines. It not belong to subnets. When you create a virtual machines, it will automatically, because see, network interfaces are nothing but the for your laptop, you have a LAN port, right?
Yes.
In order to connect to the network, you require a LAN port in physically, right? Similarly, if a VM or virtual machine need to connect to the network, it requires a one network interface. That is a virtual network interface, which will be created when you deploy a virtual machine.
Okay. Okay. When we created VM, a network interface will be created.
Okay. Yes, and it is attached to the subnet. Whatever the subnet we choose.
Yeah. Okay.
Questions, guys? Are we clear? If I say are we clear, just say, don't put in chat because I can't see the chat, by the way, but let me know you're okay or not.
Yes, sure.
Okay, I'll feel
Yes,
that
sir.
it is okay. So if you have a question, so you can ask me. You can just interrupt me and ask me. If it is a bad doubt, I'll scold you, so don't worry. So you don't need to think about, right, oh, what will happen, some people, other people will think if I ask this basic doubt. Doubt is a doubt, that's it. If you ask the doubt, then I'll say it is a basic doubt and where you refer, or I'll tell you the answer. Should not wait something. Okay,
Harsha,
yes.
just imagine, like, there is no network security group at a virtual machine level. I create only network security group at, like, virtual subnet level without having NSG at virtual machine level.
It's fine. Many people will do that. Many companies will do that. No issues.
That should be
See,
fine.
only difference is one thing you need to understand is if you create the NSG at the subnet level, for example, so what will happen is whatever the ports you are going to apply will be applicable. I mean, for example, imagine I have a 3389 port. If I apply at the subnet level, irrespective of what type of server you're going to put in that subnet, everyone will get that port, right? Sometimes that might not be expected. So what do you want is, sometimes you have a Windows server and Linux server. You want to open Windows 3389 for Windows server, and you want to open 3389 for this one. Well, let's do one thing to make things easy for you. I'm going to deploy a Linux server, guys. Let's troubleshoot in that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me go to the, anyway, I need to deploy a virtual machine. Let's deploy the Linux machine. So I'm going to add a virtual machine. I'm going to take hub RG and come down and say like Linux VM1 or management, say mgmt Linux VM1, and Ubuntu is fine, and I think 1 GB 1 CPU works very well, so I don't require that, and I use the password, and okay. So what I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to create a new NSG. Next. I'm going to put in the same subnet. I'm not assigning any subnet group. Network security, none, guys. If I want, I can go ahead and apply our security group, which is this one. I'm not going to apply anything. Okay. So management, advanced security. Okay, advanced tags, review and create. So this was 0.6. So create actually. Now what will happen is, I already have a network security group which is assigned at the subnet level. You know that one. Now what I want to do is, I want to create a new new instance level security group for Linux. For that purpose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the network security groups. I'm going to add a security group, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically come here. I'm going to use the hub RG, okay, and I'm going to use, okay, hub RG Linux -nsg. Okay, I'm going to create this one, review and create, and create it. And in that security group, I'm going to allow port 22. I'm going to allow, for example, come here, and I'll come to inbound rules, add it, and I'm going to say any, it's fine. And here in destination, most probably the IP address of this server will be 10.10.1.5, because normally it will take the next available. But to make sure, if I go to virtual machines, see 1.5, guys, it'll take normally which is available in the subnet. So I'm going to give 1.5, and the port I want to allow is 22 actually. Okay, and I'm going to say, okay, so SSH port, SSH allow, and click on add. Now this security group is not yet assigned to anything. So if I go to the virtual machine, see, go the Linux machine, and if you see, go to the networking, you should see only the subnet level up. See, hub RG subnet NSG, it is applied, and it's not 22 is allowed, and nothing else. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow network interfaces and associate. This time I'm going to associate to, because you can associate only one network security group to one interface, guys. That is why the other one is grayed out actually. That is not the same case in AWS. AWS you can apply for an instance, you can apply up to 5 security groups, but here you can only do one thing. Okay, I'll go back here, as you can see, and I'm going to refresh this. I'm going to refresh this, and what you can see here is, see, there are actually two security groups. One is, you can clearly see the subnet level NSG, which is allowing 3389 only, nothing else. Whereas the other one is the Linux NSG, which is allowing 22. Now obviously I can't connect to this machine. Why? Because I already clearly explained. For example, if the traffic is coming from outside, it will hit the subnet NSG first, after that instance level NSG, and then go to the server. So in our case, it is a Linux server, guys. What you need to understand is Windows is fine right now. This is a Linux server. So I'll do one thing. I'm going to remove. Okay, just place it like this. Imagine this is a Linux server. Now, in order to connect to the Linux server, you need to have TCP port 22 allowed. Actually, I allowed that at instance level, which is this one, Linux NSG port 22, but it's not allowed here. So what will happen? What will happen is, so you will basically get an error. So let me go back, copy the public IP here. See, you won't be able to connect,
Steve,
guys. Yes,
I think you took Windows public IP.
I see. Okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right. So let me copy this one. Either way, you're not going to connect, by the way. So let's see, because I didn't allow the traffic, right? So I'm going to go, because you need to use the putty, guys. This is a Linux machine, by the way, right? It's not a Windows machine. If you go, you're going to get the error saying that one, connection timed out, guys. So what is happening in the traffic when you're trying to connect? Actually, the traffic is coming here and it is getting blocked here. Why? Because there is no port 22 allowed. See, I allowed the 22 here, but I didn't allowed here. So both should be clear. Okay, so it is like a raw, see, connection timed out. So it is more like a interview rounds, round one, round two, round like that actually. So in between, where at least in one there you will got rejected, you got rejected, that's it, same like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the network security groups, which is, okay, let me come down. So this is the problem. So what will happen is you need to do the changes at both the levels. If you're using network security groups at subnet level and instance level, every time there is a new machine and everything, right, you might need to changes at two levels. That will be a little, okay, few servers is fine. If you have a big environment, it's very headache for you. Okay, again, I need to come here. I can do one thing. I can actually edit the existing port as well, like this. I can say like edit. You can create a new rule, or you can also do something like, for example, I can give command 22 as well. Okay, and the name I'm going to say, I can't change. That is the problem. You can do like this, or if you want to be properly given, so what I can do is I can basically come here, inbound rules. I'll say add a rule, and I'm going to say like, I just give any, guys, give port 22, but here I want to allow to only to, for example, 10.10.1.5, by the way. So I'm going to come down, so SSH, and click on add. Okay, it is done. If I refresh this, okay, if you notice, there are two things. Both 22 is applied at your Linux level, as well as it is applied at in like your subnet level. Now let's try to do that. If I go to, which one? Okay, this is, okay, okay, standard BS1 is the Linux one. I'm going to copy this, open this. See, I got it now, guys. So done. That's it, guys. This is how we can apply the things at individual level. You can apply the permissions at instance level as well as the subnet level, but you need to understand the complexity here. That is why depending upon your business requirements, right? So if you think that okay, it's not necessary to apply at the subnet level and it's okay to instance level, right, you can use the instance level. So if you want to also subnet, you can do that. If you want to apply both and take that risk, I mean the overhead, right? Not, I don't say risk, I say over management overhead, you can do that one. Okay, but I think most people who works at the instance level only, not the subnet level. At least what I seen in my projects and everything, most of the environments they apply at the instance level only, not at the subnet level. Okay, is it clear, guys? Everyone, are we good?
Yeah.
See, I have a question.
Mhm.
See,
Okay. Consider if we are deploying a Windows machine, in that one we are going to enable the port 80 in the instance level. So
Okay.
inside the VM machine, there will be a firewall, right? So in that
Okay.
firewall, if I'm going to block the port number 80, so
Mhm.
what could be the scenario? So it will allow or it will deny?
See, it's a very logical, right? For example, okay, so you went to the police station and said that one, my parents are not allowing to the home basically. So they gave order that you should allow, but still you went home, mother won't allow you. What will happen? Still you won't go in, by the way. Same here. Okay, the instance level firewall block, it will block. It has no relation with your NSG or inside, right? See the NSG, what is the work of NSG? To allow the port, allow the traffic, right? It will allow the traffic. But if you have one more blocker at your VM level, what it has to do with the NSG? Tell me. There is no relation, right? So what do you think it will happen? What do you think
Okay.
it will happen?
So no,
It
no.
will block, right?
Why it is? Then why inside the firewall works?
You can disable it. Who is asking to use? You disable it. See, it's completely in your hands. If you want to have like multiple security, you have very much concern about security, what you need to do is you need to even allow at your, so you are see, this is what you are talking about, right? Here, if I go here, if I put in Windows firewall.cpl, you'll get to here. This is on, still I'm able to reach it because it is default, it will allow. See, if you want, you can disable it. What is the big deal? Disable it. So if you want to see, most of the environments they disable the Windows firewall because it causes unnecessary issues basically. So you can disable it.
My question is, in this instance level, I'm going to enable port number 80. So
Okay.
in that inside the VM machine, so I'm going to by mistake I disable. I mean I block the port number 80.
Okay.
So at that
What is the
scenario, the out.
what is, there is no scenario. That's what I'm trying to repeat you. See, if you block at your instance level, what it has to do with the NSG? It might be a subnet level NSG, it can be a VM level NSG. Their job is to allow the traffic, right? They did their job. They allowed the traffic to your machine, and you blocked using a firewall in your machine. So what will be the answer, right? It will be obviously your website won't be reachable. That's very logical thinking, right?
Okay,
Yes
thanks.
or no? It's a lot. So that means what it has nothing to do with Azure. It has nothing to do with the NSG. You yourself using some sort of a third-party firewall or something, you blocked it. Obviously, it will make an impact, right? You won't be able to reach the people can't be reached this one. So what you are supposed to do, either you need to configure that firewall in your server or disable the firewall. So there is no relation to Azure and your firewall inside. So the answer is yes. Your website can't be reachable. By the way, that's the plain answer. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Energy level.
So in this case, if we want to delete the subnet level energy, we can straightway delete and it will not have any other configuration changes required, right?
It's not called as deletion. You need to unassign basically. So that means what you're supposed to do is, imagine I'll go to the network security groups, by the way. So let me go to, there is this NSGs. Yeah, I'll go to NSGs. Which NSG we're talking about, like subnet level. What you can do, you can actually go to the subnets and you can actually select this and say disassociate. That's it, done. You don't need to delete it. Maybe for now you might need to use use it for a different subnet or assign it later, right? There is no need of deletion. You just disassociate it. When you disassociate it, right now it is showing all these things, right? If you refresh it again, so that would be gone. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
See, it is gone. So this is how network security groups works, guys. Okay. Now let's come to the service tags and application security groups. Okay. Now if I click on add rule, what you can do is you will get basically two extra things. These are new things actually. Service tag and application security groups is not there from the initial stages. It came all maybe like 1 or 2 years back. It popped up actually, they apply. So the important thing is, it's not, and don't think application security group is something something is beyond the network security group. I really don't know why they gave that name. Sometimes I thought of saying that one, please change that name. They should have given user tags actually. But I'll tell you what exactly the application security group is. Okay, we'll take a scenario for that one. Okay, we'll take a scenario from that one. Imagine I have a database server. Okay, I'm going to take a database server. So I'll say database VM, by the way. Okay, now this is operating at 10.10.1.100. For example, just take an example. This is operating at 10.10.1.100. Now this database VM hosting is multiple instances, guys. That means inside it is a one VM, but it's a big VM like 32 gigs or 64 gigs VM, which is hosting a database, MS SQL database, but it is used by multiple applications, one Java application, one .NET application, different types of application, 3-4 applications. Okay, so but I'm going to take a subnet actually. I'm going to take one subnet. Imagine I'm going to take one subnet. I'm going to call it as subnet 1, which is operating at 10.10.5.0/24. That means we have like 255 IP addresses there. But let me tell you, when you create a subnet, the first IP address, in this case 10.10.5.1, 2, 3. So all first 3 IP address will be utilized by Azure itself for internal routing and everything, firewall, everything. It should be normally the gateway and everything. That's why you're going to get it from 4 actually. So it will actually take the IP addresses from 4. The first 3 will be used by the Azure itself, right? Okay. Now in this subnet, imagine I have some sort of a machines actually. I'll do one thing. Imagine these are basically the VMs. I'm not going to put a number, but imagine it's a VM, and what I'm going to do is, imagine I'm going to have multiple VMs actually. So I'm going to do something like this. Now imagine I have 2 sets of VMs, guys. Imagine 2 sets of VM. One I'm going to say like some orange VMs. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them with orange. The other one basically will be blue. Okay, so what I want to say is this one, these guys, right? These guys basically belong, the orange ones belongs to, I'll say orange VMs or Java application, Java app. Okay, whereas blue will be blue VMs are imagine .NET app. Okay, now what is happening is here, only orange servers, here is the challenge I'm going to say. Only orange server should be able to give the data, access the database. So that I need to allow the only the orange ones basically. Okay, I need to allow only the orange ones to access the database. In real time it is very simple, because these are 4 machines. So what I need to do, I can simply go ahead and here what I can do is go ahead and select source IP addresses. It should basically come from IP addresses, and imagine I want to give something like 10.10.5.4/32, like this I can give. Okay, so what I can do is I can give 4, 5, 6 and 7, like this I can give the IP. That means what I'm trying to say is, so for like this IP address, what I'm going to say, like it's IP addresses are, for example, it is like start with 4, right? 1.4, or I'm going to say that 10.10.5.4, something like this. 5.4, this is 5.5, and this is 5.6, and this is 5.7, 5.6, and this is basically 5.7. Now I want to allow only these 4 IPs should reach to the database VM. It's very simple. I can directly go and add it here. That's your work is done. Now here is I'm going to say, later I got a challenge. Okay, I have a different subnet where I got extra machines. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, let me tell you, I have a different subnet which is entirely different, by the way. I also have 4 machines to that one. I have another 4 machines which I want same application, but they also want to connect this one. That is the first challenge. So imagine that IP is a completely different subnet. I'm going to say like 6.4, for example. This is 6.4, and I'm going to say 6.5, and I'm going to say 6.6, like this. They're going to connect like this. We have like 6. This is completely different subnet. This is the first challenge. That means again I need to edit this network security group and start adding it 6.4, 6.5, 6, 7, and that is one problem. And later I came to know that this is not stopping. The problem is, okay, it is one time activity, I'm okay, but that is not going to stop. This subnet is going to grow like this. It is going every time they are going to, every month there will be 3-4 machines getting added to the basically to that one. So this will become a nightmare for you, because every time they're going to change it, put a new machine, again you need to come here and you need to add something like this. Okay, 10.10.6.10 slash, like this. You keep on going it. How to solve this problem? Okay guys, did you understand my challenge first before going? Have you understand the challenge, what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Everyone,
So
did you
Harsha,
understand the challenge? Yeah.
yeah, so at the database
Yeah.
VM level, we have to allow the traffic for all these virtual machines, right?
Yeah,
That is the
database
challenge.
it is no, that's what. So you need to make sure that the database VM should be able to connect only, because it is a database VM security group I'm talking about here. This security group is database VM security group.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, got.
so I should allow only the orange VMs. So problem is these orange VMs are in different subnets and they are increasing rapidly. So I can't allow the whole subnet, because this subnet contains other VMs as well. I can't simply open 10.10.5.24 because there are other VMs, so I can't directly add the subnet. If it is only orange VMs, right, what I don't need to take the risk. I can simply go here 0 and /24, done, whole subnet is added. But that is not the challenge. This is the challenge. As well as there are also VMs coming from a different subnet. I don't know what are the other VMs in that subnet. I can't allow them. So how to solve this challenge? That is why what we are going to do is, we have something called as a application security groups. Okay, application security groups. So how it works is, so don't think like it is something related, something similar to network security group. I really don't know why they gave this application security. Maybe they are grouping based on application. So what will happen is, no, I'm going to say like this orange machines belong to the Java app, right? I'll go do one thing. I'll go back here and I'll go to the search for application security groups, or simply ASG. ASG is auto scaling group, by the way, in here. But anyway, application security groups. Okay, I'm going to create an application security group. I'm going to create in here. Then what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to basically come here and I'm going to say Java underscore app review and create guys. Under app create guys. Okay. 1 minute. Okay, it is done. So application security group is now. What I'm going to do is, you have nothing to do here guys. Don't think that you have inbound outbound. No, what I can do is, now I can attach this Java app to whatever the machines actually. How I can do that? I can basically go to the virtual machines. I go to the virtual machines. I'll go to the whatever the VM. Imagine I want to imagine the management VM1 is the database server. So I can go to the Linux server, and what I can do, I can go here, and what I can do is I can go to the application security groups, configure application security groups, and I can basically select the Java app guys. Now like this, what I'm going to what I'm going to do is like this. What we're going to do is, in our picture, we're going to assign the application security groups to everything. Moreover, whenever you're deploying a new server, imagine tomorrow you're going to deploy some 4 servers which need to access database. During the deployment itself, because normally deployments will happen using Terraform or ARM templates, some sort of automation. In the automation itself, what we're going to do is, we'll include this application security group as Java app. Okay, so what will happen, we will now go to the inbound security. Let me refresh this. Instead of allowing different subnets and everything, directly I can say, so the source, instead of any or assigning individual IPs or subnets, right, simply I can add an inbound rule. Instead of any, I'm going to basically select a application security group, and I select the Java app guys. That's it, done. And I won't allow database server 1433, which is the database port for MS SQL. So port, I'll say MS SQL, and click on add. So what happened, irrespective of wherever it might be, whichever subnet it might be, but it will have this application security group, right? So wherever you have application security assigned to this one, automatically the ports will be automatically opened guys. Check it out. Okay, source is from this one, and destination is for maybe I want to put it like this one. What is the destination guys? The IP address is, I'm going to put like 10.1 sorry 10.1.4 right /32. I can put something like this and save it. So what will happen, irrespective of whichever subnet or whichever IP it is having. So since it is applied with the Java app application security group, right, it will get access to this one. We don't need to do anything. So what we'll do, we'll make sure that whenever the application is getting or whenever the server is getting deployed, we'll make sure that you involve this application security groups in that automation. Okay, in that automation, automatically it will be added to the application security group, and it will get access to the database. So the reason they might given this name is, they are actually grouping the machines based upon the application, like Java app, .NET app, or Python app. That is why they're calling application level security groups or application wise security groups. So that's why they call it as application security groups. So it will be very, very helpful if you have like VM scattered around like multiple subnets. If you're not sure, you cannot add, there is a scenario where you can't really add the whole subnet, or machines are keep changing, then application security group will be a very, very good choice. Is it clear guys?
Yeah, Harsha, this is Hari. I have a quick question. See, this application security group, can it be spanned across VNets, or is it only within the VNet subnets only?
So what will happen is, for example, security group, right? I think the security group, when you're creating a security group, basically it is depends upon the resource group, but I think if you are in the same region it can be applicable. But let's check. Let me do something like this. It should be, if it's the same region it should work for you, but I have a confusion on whether you can access in a different resource groups or not. If it is in the same resource group, even if different VNet also, it will apply, guys. No worries about that one.
Okay.
But if the VNet belongs to a different region, it won't be applicable, because NSG is a per region basis, not between the regions. Okay.
Peering
Okay.
needs to be done as well, right?
No, no, there is nothing to do with the peering. Peering is for network connectivity. Security group is based upon the region. You can't have the same security group in a different region. You need to create again there. It cannot be expanded to different region. But I
No,
think
no,
it
no.
can.
No,
Yes.
question is, Harsha, uh, let's say like, this application security group, within the same resource group, you have got two VNets. So just wanted to ensure like, this application security group right now span across VNets and the same resource group.
That's what
So
I'm
do we
trying
need to
to say. Do you know that I already told, like inside a resource group, you can have two units from different regions, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So that's what I'm telling. You might actually put that to a different VNet in different region, right? That won't work. That's what I'm trying to say. It cannot.
Okay.
It can be in only one region. Then the security group cannot span between the regions. That's what I'm trying. So for example, imagine if I go to, let's try to do it in your way. Okay. If I go here, add the virtual machine, unless they have recently changed. So I'll go here, I'm going to select the NSG, and what my plan is, I'll give some name, but I'm going to select this to East US2, which is actually, which is a different one, right? So okay, so I'm going to give none here. Next I'm going to select the networking. Okay, now if I go to, let's go to advanced, and basically if you check it out, it is not showing the security group. Check it out, right? Because it's a different region, East US2, it's not showing. But let's do one thing. Okay, let's go back and select same region. I'm going to give the same region in the same resource group, by the way, same resource group, same region. Okay, so I'm going to next disk, next add. So if you go here, right, so select this, which is this one. Where is this one? No, it looks like, let me go back, hub RG, and this one US East one. Okay, good. Go everything, it is in the same resource group. Yes, go disk and networking. Okay, now here, see, it is showing, right? You can use it. Now not only this one, let's check it out. I think even in a different resource group in the same region, it should work actually. I'll go here, put spoke rg1, by the way. So next, so if I go here, so it looks like different RG is not working, guys. Even the same region, different RG, it looks like it is actually confined to only one region. You see that? So that means inside the resource group, okay, inside the resource group it will work in the same region, it won't work with a different region. But I should look into that. Actually, let me cancel it and try to do that. It should work in the between the resource groups
You
as
have
well. We'll try
selected the
it again.
public IP. That's why.
I will see. I'll go to again, select a different resource group, just give something here. Okay, so here, so if I go to advanced and go here, see, you're getting it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So even between the resource group you can use it. That's what I remember actually. So if I use this one, it will work. But inside a region, guys, inside the East US, a security group can be used between the resource groups as well. It will work, by the way. We'll try to do that one when we do the applications, all these things. Okay, any questions, guys? Questions? Okay, next is service tag, guys. Apart from that, so that's what I try to say is we can actually say application security groups as application security groups. We can consider as security groups. We can call as like a user tag, user grouping, actually user grouping of VMs, simply of VMs, or I can say simply like user tagging. We can tag it with the application security group. So user tagging. The reason I use this name is we have something called as a service tags, guys. Okay. Now, if I go to network security groups, if you go inside this any one of the, okay, I'll go to Linux. So what will happen is here inside, right? Imagine if I click on add, you have something called as a service tag. What exactly is a service tag? Service tag is nothing but so let me put like this actually. So you have a Azure service where it needs to come and connect to your database or do something basically. Okay, or I can do something. I can do something like I can assign, okay, the source tag here is, okay, I'll say like IP address is, I want my Windows server, which is 10.10.1.4, okay, and I want to go to, it is like source destination ports. I want to connect to destination, right? What I can do, I want to connect to the these things, or I need to, I'm saying in a reverse way. Let me put like this. Here I should have not application security group. Okay, I think I need to do in outbound, sir, not inbound. So imagine, take this scenario actually. Now I have my server. This is the Windows server which we are talking about, right? This Windows server is going to very frequently going to talk to the storage accounts in Azure. Storage account is something like a S3 in AWS, as well as it's like a Google Drive, guys. It needs to talk. So what I want to do is I want to allow an outbound rule. Source is, you can see, source is my IP address, which is this one, which is 10.1 10.10.1.0, sorry, 1.4/32. This is my Windows server, by the way. Destination is, now this is the problem here. Destination is I need to talk to the storage accounts, Azure storage accounts. Now the problem here is, if I go to Azure public IP address ranges, you can download it. I'm going to open with, okay, Visual Studio Code. Where is downloaded or not? Okay, let's see. Now the problem here is, if I open this, by the way, the storage accounts looks like this, guys. So if I say, you'll learn in future, so don't worry. If I go here is this is the storage accounts. Actually this is more like a Google Drive. Now what I want is my server should be, where is this one, my server should be able to reach to the storage account. Now one challenge I'm going to have is, this is the challenge. So there are lots and lots of public IP addressing. Okay, so what I want is I'm going to run a control F. I'm going to put like a storage, guys. So you have this storage actually. Now check it out. I need to make sure, I need to copy all this thing, by the way, all the way from top to bottom. See, still it is coming. No, when it will end. Okay, copy all these things. Okay, I got it. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay, I need to copy this, go here and paste it here, guys. Paste everything here. Okay, so copied or what? Okay, just for example, I'm going to copy. It should not give the codes actually, but I'll say I'm going to give something like this. So now it's fine. If it is a one-time activity, I'm very happy to do that one-time activity. So I'm going to copy, even it is a little bit of work, I'll do that. The problem is this IP changes. So then I need to bang my head somewhere. to do repeatedly. That is why what Azure did was, okay, don't worry, let's do one thing. You don't worry about the IP addressing. Do one thing. There is, what we did was, we created something called service tag, and we have grouped all the VMs using this one. See this? So all the internal AWS Azure services are grouped. So that means if I want to go to the storage, if I go down, where is this? I'll say like storage, for example. If I go to storage, see, you have country wise as well as storage. If I select, that's it guys, and destination ports, I'm going to say 443. Okay, that's it, done. So if I select service tag storage, I really don't need to go ahead and select all these public IPs, and irrespective the public IPs keep changing at the back end, I don't need to give a heck about that one. Why? Because I don't manage that one. I just give the service tag. That is how what they did was, for Azure services, all Azure services, almost all, they have created the service tag. So whichever you want to connect, right, you just need, for example, you want to connect to SQL, for example, I'll say like database from your server, you can put simply SQL. And SQL, you want to connect only SQL in US, what you can come down and US East US1. That's it. You can narrow down to US1. That's it. Your server will be able to connect to the East US only, nothing else. That is how. So grouping of Azure services into a service tag. To be more precise, grouping of Azure service public IPs into a service tag. Any change in the service tag, they'll take care of the backend. We don't need to worry about that one. That is what a service tag. If you see, even application security group is also similar. Only thing is, we are grouping our resources using application security group. These guys are doing service tagging, group their resources. Right now, we don't have an option to create our own service tags actually. Okay, so that's why I said you better talk application, say application security groups as a user tags rather than application security group, and service tags for Azure services. Is it clear, guys? Did you understand what I just said? I can repeat if you want. So is it clear? The service tag.
Yeah. So what is the real-time scenario where we use the service tags? I don't see one.
I
Because this
just
one is
told you. I just told you one. Imagine your Windows server want to connect to the database. Okay, which is a Azure SQL database, and you don't want to allow any other actually. So what I can do, I can select the, because till we did not yet cover the Azure SQL, you might not get a complete full-fledged. So I can actually restrict to one particular port to any one of the service I want, so that I can be more secure. They can't connect to any other SQL. I can restrict, right? I have
okay.
I have almost all the service. I can do for storage account, I can do anything. Storage, you can see load balancer, I can do anything. Gateway, Activate, everything. I can do that. So it is actually making more secure your servers, right? Your servers, not only servers, you can apply security groups to load balancers and do a lot of things, but at high level, it will provide a security. And see, if you say SQL, that means I'm talking about Azure SQL. This one, this SQL database, this is a PaaS servers, platform as a service basically. So what you can do, you can actually use SQL East US. That means you can, your Windows server or any application server can only connect on this port to the Azure SQL servers hosted on East US only. You are actually reducing or securing your server, where exactly it can connect to the Azure services. Okay,
Yeah.
questions, guys?
It's like a endpoint in AWS.
AWS, you don't have this feature, by the way. So you can talk it as endpoints, but we don't have service tags there in the security groups. We can use in AWS. You can use a yes, you can say that one, but yeah, what you said was right. If you know the VPC endpoints, right, you can use that one. Yes.
Yeah, the similarities looks like same.
Yes. It's a VPC
Yeah,
endpoints. Yeah. Any questions, guys?
Security tag will be only on outbound security rules. Why can't it be in inbound?
Okay, so it's a good question, very good question actually. Now the question it is actually, if I go to inbound, if you notice, add if you see from the source, you really don't see here. So what is happening is inbound, you have the security from the inbound. So what you can do, if I come here, not this one actually, sorry, if I select where exactly I am, here there is only one way it will be allowed. Okay, see, check it out. In outbound rules, if you go in the source, right, in the source, you really don't have the service tag here. You only have IP address and virtual network. Why? Whereas in destination, you have the service tag. Okay, similarly, if you come to inbound, you will see in the source I have a service tag. If I go to destination, you don't see a service tag. Now you need to think about logically here. Okay, let's talk about outbound first. Outbound, my Windows server should be able to reach to the Azure services. That is why we use the service tag. Okay, that means, see here, what will be your source? So this is a security group, right? Network security group, where we assign a security group, okay, to VMs, all this. That is why it is not showing any source. That means it won't, since this is actually applied to, this security group will be applied to what I can say, like the VMs or load balancers. That is why you don't have a source as service tag, but this server should be able to connect to the services. That is why you have a destination there. That means this server should connect to the Azure services. Whereas in the inbound rules, okay, you have some PaaS service, which is like app service. Actually, app service is basically if I go here, add, right, if I go here, now you have a service tag where I have an app service. I'm not sure if it is there. If I like yeah, app service management, I can select it. That should connect to my database actually, which is 1433. So it is outbound. That means sorry, it is inbound. That means the service, the AWS sorry, the Azure service is actually coming and connecting to your server. That is why you have inbound service tag, but you don't have in outbound. Basically, see, in the destination you don't have it, while as in outbound, what will happen, your server will be connecting to the Azure service. That is why if you go here, you have your IP address, whereas destination you have a service tag. Okay, so you don't need to allow between service tag to service tag, right? Because they are already connected, the services are already connected. You don't expect to create inbound as service tag, outbound. You don't require permissions, your permissions to communication between the Azure services. So that is why you really don't have for outbound, you only have the service tag in destination, where you have from inbound. Okay, so you have service tag in the source, but you don't have in the destination. Why? Because you are connecting to a server, something like this. The destination here, the destination filter any IP range, application secure, or a default tag. Okay, it's it specifies the outgoing traffic for the specific destination. So that's why you have service tag in the source, not in the destination.
One quick question.
Yes.
If you're going to configure the service tag from outbound, so these things will be an internal communication, right? So it won't go to the internet and then fetch the SQL database,
No.
right?
No. That's we are yet to come to that point. We'll come to that later. This right now, this will actually go talk to the public endpoint. If you don't want to talk to the public endpoint, we need to discuss about something called as endpoints, which we'll get later. Any questions, guys?
So we can assign only one security group per instance, right? We cannot assign
Yes.
multiple,
No.
like AWS.
Yeah, you can only allow one. Okay, so this is about security group. What I'm going to do here is, guys, next we are going to basically in the agenda, we're going to discuss about the firewall actually. Okay, firewall is basically is a huge topic, and it will, I think it is going to eat up our full time, like 1.5 hours until like 7:30 basically. It's okay. So for that, I'm going to make some changes. Those changes are, first of all, I want to apply one security group with all permissions allowed and assigned to the both machines actually. So I'll come here so that I don't want issues. I'll say any and I'll say all ports allow all, and I'm going to save this, and I'm going to assign this to all. Okay, if I go to subnet, so I don't need to associate, I just need to associate to network interface. I'm going to associate to Linux as well. It's all, see, this is the problem, the Linux is already assigned to a different one. So what I need to do, first I need to get rid of Linux, this one. I'm going to delete everything, guys. So I think I can't delete once it is assigned, so I need to go to disassociate first. So network interface, I'm going to basically disassociate. Once that is done, you can go here and basically delete this and delete it. Likewise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one, as I think this is not even assigned to anyone, by the way. So good. So that we have only one group, and we'll assign to everything. Okay, so let's do one thing, guys. I'm keep on talking from past 2 hours, so let's take a 5-minute break. We'll convene back in 5 minutes, and we're going to start the firewall stuff. Okay, please hold on. Let's patch up in 5. Hold on, guys. Okay guys, let's proceed. So let's understand what we're going to do today. So now let's go to the back to the diagram, actually the diagram which initially we discussed it, right? Now we already discussed about like security groups and everything. Now what I want to do here is I want to discuss about this Azure firewall. I think we need to use the same thing in tomorrow as well for the VNG. So let's try. I'm not sure if we can cover the both. So, but let's see. So I'm going to use the Azure firewall, guys. Right now, I'm going to discuss about the firewall. See, what is a firewall? You might ask, sir. We just discussed about the firewall, about the network security group, right? Yes, I understand that one. It's a type of a firewall, but it is not entirely a firewall. Okay. Example. Now, if you want to block something, if you want to block a website or something, right, I can't really use a network security group based on some name. For example, if I want to block a Facebook, I can't do that one. It won't work like that. Okay. Similarly, if I want to block some sort of a IP ranges. I think if you want to do something called as like a different rules for based upon the customer, I can't do this one. So because a network security group is not a full-fledged firewall, it's not a full-fledged firewall. So I'm going to show you how exactly Azure firewall works. Let me tell you, this feature is not there in AWS, guys. Okay, this feature you need to use a third-party tool, but this is available in here. So first thing what you need to do is, that is why I have deployed these two things, and one thing I don't require here will be the Linux server is not required. So the thing which is missing here is, by the way, I'm going to extend this little down. So hold on. Okay, so what I want to say is, okay, I have two machines here, guys. If you already know that, right? So I have two machines. One is a Linux VM, one is a management VM, right? I'm going to take this here. So I have management VM1. Something like this. Okay, this is a management VM1. Now there is a reason why I did this management VM. We really don't need that Linux, but I leave it like that. Now first things first, we need to create, I think we already created the subnets, by the way, and I'm going to deploy two more servers, two more Windows servers in each of this one, and I'm going to build up the VNet peering, guys. That is the first thing we need to do. Let's fire it up. So let's check it out. Virtual networks are ready, and as you can see, virtual networks are already ready. So don't get spooked by there are too much. So this is development is there. So I'm going to subscriptions, I'm going to remove the development so that we only see our this one. Okay, so we have spoke 1, spoke 2. Okay, right. So I want to put two Windows servers, like spoke 1 VM and a spoke 2 VM. Okay, so let's go into the let me go ahead and deploy these servers. Okay, so I'm going to click on add and virtual machine. Say spoke 1 RG, and I'm going to say like spoke 1 VM and or spoke 1 VM1, or just a spoke 1 VM is fine. And then I can, it should be not more than 14 characters, right? Okay, so I'm going to select the Windows. I could have done this with the Linux as well, but I think it will be very interactive if I use the this one, Windows 2016 actually. Okay, so I see what will be the cost if I select this one. Okay, for data center, if I go and select like 2 CPU 4 GB RAM, it is 2393.21. But what will be there if I select Windows 10 Pro? 2393 point, this is also 2393.1, by the way. It is, and data center is also one, both are same. Okay, fine then. Right, so I'm going to say 2016 data center itself. So, and again, I'm going to give ID and password. Okay, I'm not going to assign any of the security group guys, because we are testing the firewall. I don't want anything in between, so I'm not going to assign any testing any firewall. So next is, okay, so it is automatically select the spoke VNet. And if I really want, I can basically go ahead and select the hub RC, or I can select it. This proves that I can assign this one. So I'll put hub RG NSG one. By the way, I allowed all traffic, by the way, it's okay. And it is going to create a public IP. Yes, so management. We are going to discuss this during the VMs guys, so don't worry. Next tags and review and create. So it's going to cost 3 rupees 27. It's okay. Click on create. Okay, let it come guys. Again, I'll go to the virtual machine. I'm going to select a new one. I'm going to put that in spoke 2, by the way. And what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to select, for example, this one. Okay, so why this is saying, I will say like, okay. Okay, none. So spoke to VNet one. Okay, so I can go. I'm not going to assign anything. If you want to assign, you can. I just want to show you that I can assign this one. See, because the same region you are able to assign, guys. Okay, if it's the other region you can't assign. Anyway, so I'm going to add management, advanced tags, and I'm going to say like a review, and all these things, and I'm going to create, guys. Okay, right. So if you see, I have the spoke 1 VM. So, and spoke 2 VM is also in the progress, guys. As you can notice, spoke 2 VM is also in the progress. Okay, now I need to get the VNet peering up and running between the hub RG hub VNet as well as spoke to both the spoke VNets. Yeah, so we're going to do that. I'll go back. So I go to virtual networks and I go to here, and here you have something called as peerings, guys. We have peerings. I'm going to see, we have something called as a service endpoints and private endpoints, guys. So we're going to talk about this service endpoints and private endpoints when I'm actually teaching you, I'm teaching you the this one, what is like Azure databases. Actually, it will be more helpful. Okay, practical way, but we'll see. I think service endpoints I should teach when I'm teaching the storage accounts. Private endpoints when I'm teaching the MS SQL, because that is a practical approach, otherwise it will be not that useful. Anyway, I'm going to say like hub VNet to spoke 1 VNet. Okay, come down. So this is already hub VNet. I'm going to select spoke VNet, and it is asking the name, so I'm going to say like VNet. Okay, just enable this one, enable all. So because you need to enable to allow the traffic to be forwarded from spoke to hub and hub to spoke. Don't worry about the gateway transit, guys. Gateway transit will coming to the picture tomorrow. Okay, we'll understand tomorrow. I'm going to click on OK. Now the peering will get connected between these two. Let's see. So this is but between hub VNet and spoke 1 VNet. Next I need to create between hub VNet to spoke 2 VNet, right? So I'm going to click on add again. spoke to VNet. Okay, like this. Okay, so if you see, it's done, guys. So I think I can check it out, the communication between this and that. So for example, if I go, you know that this is my management server, guys. So you know that, right? So if I say ping, let me make the font little brighter so you understand. So font, I think I need to have 24. Okay, good. So if I say ping 172.16.1.4, okay, don't worry, it's not pinging because there is an internal firewall. It might be not the reason. So, and I have 17.1.4. So don't think that this is what happened is Windows has a firewall internally which is disables the ping. I'll do that one. First, let's check it out whether Windows are deployed virtual machines. If I go here, run a refresh, you should see spoke 1 VM and spoke 2 VM, both are created. See, the IP address is 172.16.14, 17.1.4, sorry, not 14. And let's me log into the spoke VM1. So copy this. Spoke 1 VM. Now, how do I know it? It will be little confusion for when I'm doing this lab, right? You'll get confusion whether I'm in a spoke 1 VM or spoke 2 VM. How to solve that one? Let me show you. I have a method to solve this problem. First of all, I'm going to go to and disable the firewall, the Windows firewall, which one of the friend is talking about, right? What will happen on the internal firewall? This is the problem you're going to get, because since the peering is enabled, if I click on OK, OK, and click on OK, now if I run a ping, it should work, by the way. Oh, sorry, not 16.4. You see, it's working now. Okay, now one problem I'm going to face is, say here, how do I know this is a management VM everything? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'll go to C drive, I'll say mkdir. Okay, I'm going to say management server. I'm going to create a folder called management. It has nothing to do with the folder, but if I go here, then if you see management server, then it's a management server. Okay, so that means you are in management server. Second thing what I do is, here I'll go to the spoke this VM, by the way. So I'm going to do some few things. So first I'm going to font and select the 24, and colors I'm going to say screen text, give it as a green. Okay, and click on OK, by the way. Okay, and also mkdir, sorry, mkdir, I'm going to say like spoke 1 hyphen VM. Okay, I'm going to say like done. So now you know that we are in green is spoke 1 VM, right? So let's go back. I'll be very honest, guys. I just got that idea now. I didn't got. Earlier what I used to do is I used to go to the background and I'm going to create a paint and I'm going to put this is spoke 1 VM, this is spoke 2 VM. But I got this idea now. Why can't I create a folder and, and do this? Anyway, so, and believe me, I have got lots and lots of ideas when I'm actually teaching, which I have implemented, and it's good. And one thing I love about doing a weekend batches is I'm not limited by the time. See, in the weekday batch, right, I can take only 1.5 hour class, because after that there is a different class. But if you have like 3.5 hour at your disposal, so that you can test it and do more with the students. That's one thing. But again, you need to wait for 3.5. You need to teach for 3.5 hours. It's a not an easy thing. Okay, so let me log into here as well. This is spoke to VM, guys. Again, first thing is I'm going to firewall.cpl, disable that firewall. Okay, I'm going to change the font. Let's say properties, go to the font, give the 24 layout, sorry, colors, screen text. I'm going to select the blue one, click on OK, done. And I'm going to say like mkdir. I'm going to, on the C, I'm going to say like spoke to hyphen VM, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to say, okay, done. So now you know that, if I'm doing the work here, it's a management server. And if I do here, it says spoke 1 VM, by the way. And if I do the green one and the blue one is spoke 2 VM. Okay, good, very good. So we got our base things created. Okay, now here is the important thing. If I go to the spoke 1 and spoke 2, if I ping www.google.com, okay, let it be. We come to here. First we'll deploy the firewall, guys. Now, if as per this picture, by the way, as per this picture, the firewall is there in the green here, which is here, which we are deploying on the hub VNet. Right, in the hub VNet we're going to deploy. Now in order to deploy Azure firewall, you need to create something called as a new subnet called Azure Firewall subnet. So what I'm trying to say is, you can actually create a firewall from here itself. For example, if I go hub VNet 1, and on the left side you will see something called as a firewall here. You come here, say click and add to firewall. Here you'll go to firewall hub RG. Now important thing is, you can basically use existing firewall and you subnet, and it is, if I go down, it is not showing any virtual network, guys. See, it's not showing any virtual network, because what you need to have is, it will only show the virtual network which has that Azure firewall subnet. Okay, otherwise it is asking you. So what I'm going to do is, I'll go back to hub VNet. I create a new subnet here. I go to subnets, click on add subnet. Now it should be like this, Azure. It should be same as I'm doing firewall. The name should be exactly the same, guys. Azure Firewall subnet, and I'm going to give something like 10.10.10.0. So you can give like a /20. I give the whole subnet basically. Click on OK. Okay, the subnet is added because the Azure firewall is going to use specifically this subnet. So it should be empty, by the way. You can't use the existing subnet. Now what I'm going to do, now I'm going to firewall again. Either you can do it from here, or directly you can go like put firewall, is it? So firewalls here, come here, create a firewall, give your resource group, which is hub RG. Come down, I'm going to say like AZ firewall 1, select the US East, select the East US. Now here is important thing. Okay, I'm not going to select any zone, or if you select 1 2 3, it will become like a redundant. No, none is fine. Now important thing is here, if I go and see, now it is visible. If I select the hub VNet 1, okay, automatically it's not giving error. If I select hub VNet, spoke VNet, right, it is saying Azure firewall cannot be used in the virtual network from a different resource group, so something. Okay, but you should have a firewall subnet, so I'm going to use hub VNet 1. Okay, and now it is asking to create a public IP. So what is this public IP? So this firewall, when it is going outside, it is going to NAT it. So you require a public IP actually. I'll say like a PIP. When it says it's a PIP, public IP, it should be there. I say okay, no problem. I'm going to say AZ firewall 1-pip, which is a public IP. Click on OK. Okay, done. Force tunneling is, I didn't use the force tunneling, guys. Is create additional subnet for management traffic. Enable force tunnel to create an additional firewall management traffic. This subnet will be directed towards a will have, okay, no, not required. So add tags, review, and let me tell you, this is not free, guys. Azure firewall will charges you like an hour. It is going to cost you almost like 70 rupees or something. Yeah, I'm going to create. I didn't know whether how it works in the free trial, guys, in your free trial, but you can check it out, because I never used the Azure firewall in a free one. Okay, let the firewall come. It will take some time, but before that, going back to your architecture, what will happen right now? What you need to understand is, right now the traffic is actually not going through the firewall. What is happening is, if you see the traffic, if it is need to if it is go connect to the hub RG, it use the VNet peering. But what you need to understand is, if it basically goes to the internet, right, what you need to realize is, basically it is actually connecting directly to the internet, guys. If you realize, it is actually directly connecting to the internet. Okay, like this actually. Okay, like this. So similarly this one as well. So I'm going to put something like this. So even this also basically connecting directly, something like this. See, now the servers, right, from this VNet are actually directly connecting to the internet. Okay, so I'll do one thing before confirming that. I'll do some testing for you. I'm going to use the network watcher again. I'm going to open network watcher. I want to confirm how exactly traffic is routed, guys, because we are not yet diverted the traffic towards the firewall. Okay, right now traffic is directly going outside. So what I can do is, so if I go here, click on next hop, by the way, next hop, I'm going to use production, and I'm going to use spoke 1. It will automatically spoke 1. Okay, and I want to reach out to 8.8.8, which is a public DNS of Google. If I click on next hop, right, it is going to check the traffic. It is going to check the traffic, and it is going to say how exactly traffic is going. What is the, see, what is the next hop it is showing? If you see, it is basically showing internet, and it is using a system route, guys. This please remember, this is using a system route. So what I'm going to do here is, I'll take a screenshot of this one, print screen. Okay, that is why print screen is not working. I'll go here, I'll say print screen. Yeah, so remember this. Okay, this is actually spoke 1 is going to internet actually, and spoke 2 is also same. Spoke 2 is no different actually. So if I go here and I'll say go up, I say spoke 2 RG. Okay, so if I select next hop, see 172.17.1.4, it is directly show, okay, it is using a default route. System route is default route, and it is directly reaching to the internet. That means the VNet, through the VNet, it is directly reaching to the internet, guys. Okay, so I'm going to select again the print screen. I'm going to basically paste it, and but I'm going to come down. I will do one thing, I'll copy. Okay, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to just put it here, okay, so that we can verify later. See, this is spoke 1 is actually going to the internet, spoke 2 is also going to the internet, guys. Okay, good. So now now the point here is, how do we make these servers which are actually going directly to the internet, how to make them? No, you should not directly go to the internet, but you should basically go through the firewall. Okay, that is where you're going to have something called as a routing tables, guys. It is actually called as UDR, user defined routes. It is something called as a UDR. That means we are simply saying it's a diversion in the highway. When you are driving, right, you see it's like nowadays like BJP is doing a lot of constructions every roads, right? So wherever you go, there is a diversion. Okay, so you see diversion. Similarly, this is a diversion. UDR is a diversion basically. So now what I'm going to do here, I need to create UDR. So that is why we actually called this as a UDR, guys. Okay, firewall, comma UDR. That means or UDR or routing tables. UDR or routing table. So we need to create routing table for the each spoke 1 VM, spoke 1 VM and spoke 2 VM, and divert the traffic. By the way, divert the traffic to this side. Okay, so how I'm going to do that? Now this is where it will get interesting. Okay, this is where it will get interesting. Now if I divert the traffic, everything through the firewall, then I can't connect to 170. Right now I'm able to connect to this one, right? If it's spoke 1 VM spoke, these two will get disconnected. Why? Because right now I'm able to connect to over the internet. That is why I'm able to connect. But when I do the diversion, instead of traffic, what is up, it is right now actually I'm actually directly connecting to from here. Actually I'm connecting to these servers, but that won't happen. All the traffic will be routed through the firewall. If it is going through firewall, if I try to connect through the firewall, it won't allow. It will say that get lost. Simply it will say get lost. So that is why I have the management VM. From the management VM, I'm going to RDP to this one, and I'm going to check whether the flow is going on or not. Now you understand why I gave the management VM. Okay, so first I need to create the UDRs or routing tables. For that, what I'm going to do, I think I should have here, or I need to,
Harsha, this is
yes.
Hari. So when you enable this firewall, then those spoke 1 VM and spoke 2 VM will lose their public IPs. Is that right?
Or I can say there is no use of public IPs.
Oh,
Other way.
okay, that's
Yeah.
better. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to assign the public IP so that I can show it to you. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
I create a routing table, and I'm going to select the spoke 1 RG, guys. So and I'm going to come down and where is this one? Yeah, East US. Here I'm going to get like spoke 1 hyphen UDR. And don't worry about this propagate gateway routes. This is for VNG actually. Just leave that and click on review and create and create. Again, I'm going to create second one. Again, go to the spoke to RG and go to this one also, like spoke to UDR. I say review and create, and I'm going to create. Guys, when I'm doing, everything works very smoothly. Okay, that is not the same case when you are doing it. You need to scratch your head basically. If you get it, I'm happy for you, but when you're doing a lot of put a lot of practice, right? So you get a lot of errors. That is what first time even I got the errors. So don't don't get demotivated. You are supposed to get errors. That is how you learn the things. Okay, don't get demotivated and things. So I have both. Now I'm going to configure that. This is the important part here. So I'll go to the spoke one. Now I need to assign to the subnets routes. So configuration, this is fine. You'll go to routes, and I'm going to click on add route. Now I'm going to say the route name is okay to internet from firewall or AZ firewall. I'm going to say AZ FW1. Okay, I'm going to put something like this. Anyway, so the prefix, right? You need what you need to give destination is you're going to give 0000 slash. That means what exactly this means. Remember, guys, what exactly this meant is all traffic. Instead of going to direct internet, you should go to this one. Here you won't see any firewall, guys. You need to select virtual appliance because firewall is a virtual appliance. Select this. Now next hop IP address will be, where is the firewall? By the way, go to the firewall. It's already deployed. Go to the firewall and copy the private IP address of the firewall. Give it here and click on OK. Okay, so this is the route, but this is not yet applied to a subnet, guys. It is yet to update subnet, right? I'll go to click on subnets, associate, just like a NSG, you can associate. I'll go to spoke 1 VNet, and I'm going to select to spoke 1 subnet and OK, and done. let it be done. Anyway, after some time you're going to lose the this one, guys. Green, you're going to lose the green. After that, you're going to lose the blue as well. Okay, let's see. Now I'll go to the spoke to UDR. Again, routes, add, same one, give 0000/0 plans, and give 10.10.10.4. Okay, so give that. I think it's right. 10.10.10.4. Yes, yeah, give it. Click on OK. It's done. Now to the subnets, associate, and I'll go to the spoke vnet 2, and I'm going to assign this spoke subnet and click on OK, guys. Done. I think by this time I already lost this one. See, this is one is gone, guys. If you see, one is gone. our green is gone, by the way. So you can see it is gone, and it's a matter of time. Even blue will also say goodbye. Okay, that means what is happening? We have routed the traffic, okay, with brute force. Instead of going this side directly, we said, okay, stop sending traffic to Azure Firewall. That is what we did. So that is why what will happen, firewall doesn't allow you to come connect from outside. Even you have public IP, still it won't allow to connect like this. It will say packet will get dropped, guys. Okay, that is why there is no need of a using a public IP. Even there is no use of having public IP. I think it should be disconnected. See, this is also gone, guys. See, I'm going to cancel. Now I know that this is going to be the scenario. That is the reason I have this management server. In the management server, I'm going to run a MSTSC 192.168, sorry, 172.16.1.4. Okay, I'm going to say like username will be localhost 3 connect. You will get it because we have a peering, right? Sir, why firewall is not stopping? See, guys, think logically. Firewall is actually stopping the traffic coming something like this. It is stopping the traffic. But you remember, I'm in management VM. I'm not impacted by the firewall. I can go and connect very easily. That is why I have a management. Okay. So I'll go here. I'm going to give the password. Okay, now if you go, see, you got the spoke VM, guys. I'm going to minimize that one. So remember, you have a spoke VM 1 here actually. Okay, so that you know what I'm doing. Again, I'll go to one more. Go here, I'll say MSTSC again. This time I'm going to say 172.17.1.4. so local host. Now you got spoke VM2. I'm going to minimize this. So you have two things, guys. One is what you need to notice is I have two things. I have spoke VM1 and I have a spoke VM2. Okay, so that now this is the interesting part. Now if you try to ping anything, so I'm going to ping like 8.8.8.8 and no, it won't go. Similarly, ping 8.8. It won't work, by the way. Now here is the thing. I'm going to check again. See, earlier when you run a network watcher next hop test, right, it is basically using system route and system route, right? Okay, good. Let's do something like this. Let's go back. I'll go to network watcher and already it is already there. Now if I'm going to say next hop, right, let's see what it is going to say for 17.1.4. see that result is virtual appliance IP address, and what is the route you're getting? Check it out, guys. Spoke to UDR, right? Spoke to UDR. So we what we did, we forcefully routed the traffic. So I'm going to change it to spoke 1 as well, and I'm going to get everything. And again, next I'm going to check the next hop. Of course, it is not reaching the internet, by the way. It is saying that it is going through the next hop, which is this one. See this? This 10 dot. Okay, right. Now here is the important part. Now these servers are not able to access any sort of, okay, let me stop some few things here. So if I go here and I'm going to stop like enhanced, I stop this one. This is the one of the irritating things of browser. So stop this, click on OK. And what I'm going to do here is, now I'm going to open Internet Explorer, by the way, in Spoke VM1, guys. You can see the Spoke VM1. I'll go here and type google.com, and the thing you're going to get is HTTP request from 172.16.1.4. okay, it is clearly saying action deny, no rule has matched proceeding with the default rule. That means literally it is blocking, guys. Okay, literally the firewall is blocking. If you notice, right, firewall is blocking. Let's check the same thing should happen here as well. Okay, see, same thing. Now what we are supposed to do in the firewall, we need to allow this thing. So that is why what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back, go to the Azure firewalls, and I'll go to the rules. Actually, in the rules, you have totally 3 rules, guys. One is a network rule. Don't worry about NAT. First, the firewall rules are 2. One is network rule collection. The other one is application rule collection. Okay, network rule collection. What we are going to do is, we're going to I'm going to basically see, network rule is there to allow the traffic and deny the traffic normally for any type of applications, any type of the ports. Whereas application is mostly for web applications. If you want to block the websites and everything, you do that in the application. So first, let's check the network rule collection. I'm going to add rule collection, and I'm going to add for spoke 1. I'm going to say like spoke 1. Okay, so you can give 100, and you can actually give allow, deny, whatever you like here actually. Okay, so allow. Now what I want to do is, I'll say the rule is, I'll say allow internet, and I'll say TCP, yes. Source IP, you can give, I'll say like allow, I'll say simply give rule collection as allow internet, for example, or like spoke, I'll give for both actually. I say like spokes actually for both. Here what I can do is, I can give 172.17.1.4 comma 172.16.1.4. destination IP, I'm going to say like it's fine. IP address is anything, you can give anything, and the destination ports are, I'm going to give 80 80 comma 443. Or let's do one thing. Initially I'm going to only allow only the spoke VM1. Yeah, I'm going to click on add. Now it will get added, guys. Now it will get added. Okay, now let's check it out. I am able to go to google.com, but if I go here, no, still it is going to show the same thing, guys. Okay, now I'll go back. And I'm going, you can actually like I'm going to say like spoke 1, spoke 2, TCP, so 172.17.1.4 here. Again, imagine if I open only to 80, for example, I'm not open to a 443. I'm going to save it. Let's see how it behaves. Okay. Now if I refresh this, now if I go back here, you remember I only opened 80. If I refresh this, still it's a page cannot be displayed. Why? Because you are trying to do the HTTP. Yes, so I'm going to remove HTTP, hit enter, but still it is going to redirect to the HTTPS basically. So what you're going to do, you basically it won't work, by the way. So I'll go back and I'll going to open again. Here I'm going to open 443 as well. See, for not only this one, for example, imagine you want to basically install some sort of a application you want, right? For example, I want 170.16.1.4 should be able to communicate with 1.5. So let's do one thing. If I going to go to this one, I'll say ping 172.17.1.4. basically what I want is I want to connect to ping is disabled, by the way, you can't connect it. But what I can do is I can install a tool called as template. So I'm going to go to server manager. So I'm going to say like add and remove roles. There is a tool called as telnet, guys. It is required actually. So what you do is just it's a little tough to manage. I took a RDP inside one RDP, inside that one two RDPs. Oh my god. So okay. So next I'm going to install this. Hold on. So like this, what we can do, we can use the telnet and we can check it out. Yeah. Okay, come again. Okay, done, guys. So what I'm going to do here is I think I need to open a new one. So right click, I'm going to run a CMD. So I'm going to check whether a 3389 port is opened or not. I'll say RDP port. Say like 172.17.1.4. I'll say 3389. Hit enter. It's connected, guys. Okay, it's connected. So this is a security breach basically. I don't want to have that one. Okay, so I want to block all the traffic basically. Okay, because so sorry, this is 17. I should give 17, right? That was 17 telnet. So sorry, hold on guys. So I'll say 172.17.1.4. I'll say 3389. Is it connecting? No, it's not connecting. Okay, it won't allow. So is it possible to allow that one? Okay, so I'll do one thing. I'll go back. I'll say like allow 3389. So TCP 172.16.1.4. So 172.17.1.4. I'll say 3389. Yeah, and it's a stateful firewall, guys. You don't need to allow from that side to this side. So I'm going to save it. Is it done? So let's try to see if I'm able to connect. See, now I'm able to connect. So by default, you can even see, this is the important thing in VPC, sorry, VNet peerings, you don't have a transit, right? Now we are actually creating a transit, guys, like this using the firewall. I'm actually going to the firewall, and from there using the peering, I'm getting here. Actually, I'm going to telnet from here to here. See, on I can connect to that one. I can do that one as well. So now if you see network rules, right? For example, imagine I can install something in this machine. So if I go to Google, okay, I want to download MySQL, for example, MySQL download. MySQL, this is basically MySQL is a database, guys. So okay, so I'll select, I don't know if it asks me to download, login. Looks like I need to download. Or let's do one thing. Why I want to do that? See, for example, one more thing. If I need to, see, let me show you something. If I go like is not having telnet local host, right? So, or I'll do one thing. So if in this one, if I say telnet local, I mean the server, if I say 80, there is nothing. I didn't install anything, guys. 80 is not there. So what you know what I can do? I can basically come here, and what I can do is I can basically come and install a add and remove this one. So next, next, here you have something called as IIS server, guys. Select this, add, next, and I'm going to install the IIS server. Okay, install it. Now once it is installed, right? So I can actually run a local host telnet. It should work basically, but I want to access this website from the spoke to VM. Actually, that is what I want. So for that, I need to apply the I need to allow the port. So one thing what you need to understand is the network rule collection is here. What you need to understand, network rule collection is here to allow the application ports like 3389 or 80, as well as like 1433 SQL port or MySQL 3306, like that, to allow and disallow the ports between the servers, right? You need to actually use the network rule collection. This is not meant to even for also see service tags also. See this new thing actually, I may have to check it, but this is a new thing. You can actually allow, for example, 172.16.1.4, sorry, come on, I'll say allow Azure SQL. For example, I want to connect to Azure SQL, for example. Okay, just imagine. So what I can do, protocol, I can say TCP, sources, I can say like this one, service tags it should go to, you can say like SQL, you should see, and I want US East SQL, I can select this one, right? Done. And ports is 1433, by the way. That was the port actually. Click on save. Okay, similarly what I want to do, I also want to allow basically 80 here, and this time it will be TCP. So before that I'll check it out, is it installed or not. I think it's installed. So if I say telnet localhost 80, now it's connected, check it out. Okay, it's allowed, it's allowed. So I'm going to see like, okay, like that. But if I try to do this one, I think here I don't have a telnet, so I need to install this, install this one telnet. Hold on, or I directly open it. I forgot to say, I can go here and I can actually come here and say http 172.16.1.4, for example. Okay, so oh, you're getting it, how it is actually getting it. I didn't allow anything. It should not work, guys. It should be, I allowed outbound, but I didn't allow the inbound here. How exactly this is working? Allow 80, because we said that, okay, source and destination, this should not work, guys. Maybe I missed somewhere. Allow internet, so I allowed like 17.4 IP address to anything, but maybe this might be the thing actually. Okay, because I allowed for everything, right? So that's why it is able to
You should
reach.
be specific. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So that this is causing the issue basically. Okay, so but I can do one thing, right? I can, let's do one thing now here. I'll go to 80, like, okay, I'll say, let's try to use this block 80 internal. But okay, problem here is you can't block it, guys. This is only for allow rule. So I'll do one thing, I'll just close this off. I'm going to add one more rule, but still it won't work, by the way. So I'm going to select out this one, connect. I'll say like deny, and since you use some blocking actually, BLOCKING. So what I want to do here is very simple. Okay, so 100 is already used, so I need to use 101. This is the problem. So here I'm going to say, okay, say TCP. So here source IP address is, I can say like 172.17.1.14, and destination IP is 172.16.1.4, by the way. And what I want is, I want to basically port 80 should be blocked actually. That is what we're doing. And I'll say block. Now the problem here is it might not be effective. Why? Because the rules, see here 100, it comes from the lesser number will have the high precedence value, because since you already allowed here, right? We already allowed here, so even if you give blocking here, it might not work actually. So what I do, I'll go and try to refresh this. See, it's not taking any value actually. That's how it works. So lower the number, more the precedence. So I'll do one thing. If there is any way I can change the rule number to 2 actually. Okay, because that is 101, right? So I'm going to change the value 2. So what will happen? So this blocking will come first, whereas the allow will come next actually, right? So if that is the case, let's see that the blocking should have more. See, now it is thinking. Now it is thinking. Now it's not, because the blocking will come into first, right? So I'm going to copy this and I'll go put it here. Now you won't get it, guys. Now you won't get it. This is how the rule precedence will work. What you need to understand is this is how the rule precedence will work. So that means if it is if it is lesser the count, I mean lesser the number, more the priority. So we blocked here. Even if you allowed here, it will be ignored, guys. When allowed, it will be ignored. Basically, this will only get precedence value. Okay. So this is how what we can do is this is how what we can do is you can actually you can actually check it out, like what to block, what to unblock, where, when to allow the traffic, all these things. You need to basically create the individual rules actually. Okay, again let me tell you, network rules are here. So let me confirm that. I'll go, it's not working, right? Next I'll do one thing, I'll go back again, exit, edit. I'll change it to 100. So what you need to understand is network rules here. Network rules are here for managing this in port numbers or application access and everything. It is not here for blocking the websites. Keep that in mind. Okay, it's not here for blocking the websites. For blocking the websites, what we are going to do is we're going to use the application rule collection, guys. We're going to use the application rule collection. Okay, let's see. Yes, guys. Okay, let's see. Let's go and check it out. We'll refresh it. It's working, guys. Please go on mute. So this is how it works. Okay, this is network rule collection, guys. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Okay, good. Now let's go to the what we'll say, like let's go to the application rule collection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, guys, because what will happen, let me tell you, guys, you are on unmute. I want you to go on mute. Now, first point, before going to the application rule collection or application rules, okay, so the network rule collection has more value than application rules. Keep that in mind. The network rule collection has more value, by the way, than application, basically. So what will happen if you allow all in network rule collection, by the way, then what will happen, irrespective of you give blocking, unblocking, it doesn't matter, whatever you do, it is going to work. So that's why first what I'm trying to do is, okay, I'm going to delete the rules. I'm going to delete the rules. When I delete the rules, obviously what will happen, you don't have any sort of like access actually. So for example, if I go here, go to google.com, by the way, so what you're going to get, it is denied. Likewise, even if you go here, come down, open the browser, by the way, if I go and again refresh it, you're going to get it cannot be displayed. So if I go to new one, okay, again and again, so what will happen, it will get it. Okay, so okay, hold on. Now how to solve this problem? Now I'm not going to give anything here. I'll go to the application rule, add application rule. Now it is not possible for you to block all websites. Okay, so see, you might be thinking, okay, allow only Facebook or allow only specific site, it will be very tough. So what I'll tell you is you allow all the websites. Okay, how I'm going to do that, I'm going to say allow all websites. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a value of 5000. Okay, allow here. So and I'm going to say I'll copy this same thing here, IP address. I think I need to this one should be source, and I'm going, not this one guys, not this one. I'll say I think I need to the bottom one. Actually I'm going to delete this. So I'll go here. Okay, I'll go here, allow websites, and what I'm going to do is source IP address I'm going to give, destination I'm going to see like http comma https. Okay, so I'm going to give star there itself and click on add. Now when you give this rule, as you know, network rules don't have anything guys, right? Network don't have anything. When you give application rule collection something like this, so what will happen? What will happen? It will basically come into it should allow all the websites basically. So let's see. Come on. Okay, hold on guys. Okay, so let's go back here and check it out what is going to happen. So I got the access here and I got the access here. Now I want to block, by the way, YouTube. I want to basically block the YouTube, right? I'm going to say like YouTube. Also want to block the YouTube. I'm going to block this one. Okay, so how I'm going to do that? So what I'm going to do here is so I'll go to, again, this is a rule priority. You know that lower one has more power, right? So I'm going to add application rule collection. Okay, so and I'm going to, it starts with 100, so I'm going to give a least 100 because this gets the highest priority. Okay, oh sorry, this is the 100 here, and I'm going to say blocked websites, and it is deny, by the way. And now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here, block YouTube. Sources I'm going to give anything, destination http comma https. Now the point is here. Okay, so the point is, so star dot or youtube.com as a bonus. Okay, let's add this and first, and we'll check it out. Now you know that the number, the least number is 100. So what we'll do is so it will get the highest priority, by the way. That means whatever you're going to mention, because there is no rule below 90, right? So first it's going to execute the 100. So if it is blocked, obviously even if you are allowed in 5000 rule, it is going to ignore, right? It should allow all the other side, it should get ignored basically. That is what the plan here. So let's see if I go back, gone. But if I go to Facebook, and Google should work, by the way, Google, it will work. And one means I like, if I say Facebook works, as you can see, as well as if I go here, Facebook works. Okay, both Facebook is working here. So this is a different this. I don't know why we got two actually. Both looks anyway. So now I want to block the Facebook as well. So what I'm going to do, I'll go again. So same I'm going to give, okay, so comma star dot facebook.com, okay, and then save. Like this I keep on updating that 100 rule. Okay, whenever people say that okay we need to block that, right, okay, we need to block website, this website, right, so I'm keep on updating that one. So what will happen, 100 rule has the highest priority. So what will happen, so if that is updated, if you try to refresh, basically after some time it should not work, by the way. So let's see, the rule should get updated. Facebook.com, yeah. What happened? It looks like a rule had yet to take the effect. Now let it come. Now next thing what we need to understand, I clearly told you if the network rule overrides the application rule. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to test this. See, it's gone, guys. See, it's gone. Okay, it's not able to access, but everything other things can be able to access. For example, if I say like not portal, I like amazon.com, for example, it will work because we need to block that one, right? Now what I want to do is, now this can be overwritten, by the way, means what I can do, I can basically come here. If I go, I want to show that how it can be overwritten. So I'll say like simply allow all, I'll say like 100 allow. I'm going to say like I give something, source is this, you can say this and this, actually this, and click on add. A protocol is there, so I'm going to select like I say any all these things, so click on add. Now as I told you, application rules can be overwritten by network rules. So what will happen, we know that Facebook and YouTube are not working, we know that, right? Now since this is going to override the application, now I should be able to reach to both the Facebook as well as the what as well as the this one, YouTube. So this is how the firewall rules work, network rule as well as application rules, guys. Any questions, by the way, anything you need to understand? Okay, let's see. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, let's see if it works or not, by the way. Now if I go to this one, Facebook, yes, it is working. YouTube, it should be working. Again here, see, it's working. Again Facebook, it's working. And YouTube, it is. So the network rule has overwritten the application rule. This is how, guys, okay, this is how it will be. It will be basically the firewall will work, actually. Okay, so network rule collection, network rule has more priority when compared to application rule. So you need to make sure that, so that's why you use a network rule only for, not for website blocking everything. You just use the network rule for managing application access, as well as like between the connectivity between the servers and as all these things. But it was the application rule which you use it for website blocking. Just how how I showed you, like 100 and 500, you can 5000. You can have different ways also, but this is what at a high level. Okay. Before going to the NAT rule, any questions? Rajagopalan, if you have a question, yes, otherwise be on mute. So questions, guys. Okay. Now let's go ahead and deal with this NAT rules. These are very easy, guys. So I'll do one thing. I'm just going to delete all these things. What we do, we'll discuss about this NAT rules. It's just a 15-minute, 20-minute topic. And then because NAT rules is going to come again in load balancers as well. But first I'm going to tell you what is a source NAT, what is a DNAT, and then we're going to use it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about a virtual network gateway. I'm going to deploy that gateway before you're going to come in, because it's going to take almost like 25 minutes to deploy that gateway. Okay, so okay, let it come. So first thing, we need to understand what exactly is a NAT. Actually, we know that NAT right now it is happening, right? So for example, let me show you something. Okay, what is the, if I go to this is the firewall, right? If I go to overview, and what you need to see is what is the public IP of this firewall. Okay, this is the public IP. What is that IP, by the way? If you click on it, the public IP of this firewall is, it should be in some 50s or something, right? So let's see. Now we know that okay, come on. Yeah, this is 47 76 130 50. It's ending with 57, guys. Now as you can see, I'll go to the VMs, virtual machines, right? Where are these virtual machines? If I go to virtual machines, see, these virtual machines, spoke 1 VM and spoke 2 VM, they have a public IPs, but they are not used actually. What you can do is, on the right side, you see the public IPs are there, but they are not used. So what I can do is, I can basically, okay, so try a new virtual machine resource browser. This experience is faster and filtering. Please note, so what is this, where this is coming from? Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to go here. So if you see, this is having a public IP. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to remove the public IP. Anyway, there is no use actually. We're not connecting to that one. So how can you do that? You select that. Go to networking. I think you need to go to the interface basically, and then disable the public IP. Okay, so what I'm going to come down, I'm going to IP configurations, guys. So in the IP configurations, my plan is come here and remove this IP. Okay, so what I'm going to disassociate and save it. Likewise, I'll go to the second VM as well. So I'll go to the second VM as well, and I'm going to remove the public IP. Yes, can you give me 1 minute, please? Give me 1 minute, guys. Hold on. Okay, sorry guys. So let's proceed. So I have removed the public IPs wantedly. I have removed the public IPs wantedly so that, because there is no use of public IPs, guys. Everything traffic is routed to public, sorry, firewall. So that is why I have removed it. I think it should be removed after some time. So let's see why it is not yet removed. Network maybe. I'll go here. So I'll go to networking. So I'll go to the interface. I'll go to the IP configurations. I'll going to go here. This also maybe I didn't save it properly, but it's okay. Now, the reason I'm doing it is there is no point, but I want to show you something. So if I go here and type, what is my IP? So if I go to what is my IP, click on it. Let's see what is IP. The IP you're getting is something 4676.57. Okay, fine. I'll go here. I'm going to put the same thing. What is my IP? Now, do you see something unique here, guys? Both got the same IP. What is happening at the back end? And whose IP is this, by the way? Whose IP is this, guys? It's a firewall IP, right? It's a firewall IP. So this is the public IP of the firewall. So if I go here, this is the PIP which I was talking about. This is the PIP, right? So if I remove it and I'm going to put something like this, okay? This is the firewall IP, or I just put it something like this. Control A, I'm going to say like, okay, right, something like this, okay? Right. So that means what is happening is at the back end, when our server is trying to reach to the this or this, doesn't matter. It first, the traffic will be sent to firewall. Firewall, it is doing something called as a natting and then sending back to the Google or any other website when the reply is coming, and again it is actually natting and doing this one. That is why if you see, both of the servers are getting same IP. That means it doesn't matter, not only two machine, any machine, doesn't matter how many machines you have, the traffic will be sent to firewall. Firewall will be converting and taking it. This process is basically called as this. The direction is going on this way, right? The direction is happening something like this. The process is basically called as source NAT. Source NAT bracket SNAT, guys. Source NAT or SNAT. It's NAT. This is fine. See, this is not something special. It happens every day in your whole life, actually. Every day, imagine you have one connection and you have like 10 to 15 devices inside the home. Okay, so mobile phones, iPads, laptops, desktops, everything. Still, you're going to have only one connection, right? That means because whatever you have laptops, everything, right? You're basically going to get natted and going here. This process is basically happens everywhere. Source NAT is default done. Okay, this happens. Now, I'm not talking about this one. Okay, I'm talking about reverse actually. Now what happens if I need to connect from the internet? By the way, if I want to connect to internet using this IP, I want to connect to these two servers. See, source NAT, I don't have any issue because the traffic will be come to this one, it will done, it will go, while coming back again it will send it issue. The issue is if I connect to this IP, do I need to connect to this one or this one? how can I decide it, right? That is what basically, if you are coming from the reverse direction, normally people don't use this, guys. Normally people don't use this. This is basically called as a destination NAT, short form DNAT. It's called destination NAT. That means the destination you are natting it. This is can be possible using this one, guys, this firewall, right? What you can do right now, if you see, if you go back to the virtual machines, you really don't have any public IPs, guys. If you notice, no public IPs. So the only way I can connect to this machine is from the management server. I was able to take something like this, as you can notice, source VM, as well as you can see, as you notice, I did something like this, right? If you notice, spoke so as you can notice, right? So spoke 1 VM, spoke 2 VM. Like this, I'm from the management, I took a RDP. But how can I connect directly from internet? But it won't be used as a lot, but I want to show you how this works. So I'll go to the firewall. You'll go to the rules basically. Where is this one? So rules, add a NAT rule, and I'm going to say like spoke 1 underscore VM. Here I'm going to give 100. See, it is actually default is destination NAT network address translation, which is DNAT. It is showing. I'm not sure it is visible for you. It should be. So here the rule is okay, or simply I'm going to give NAT. Okay, I'll say like spoke 1 hyphen VM TCP. Source is I can say anywhere, but the source address is I'm going to say like if it connects in 50,000 port. This is important, guys. I use 50,000 port destination. Okay, sorry, destination address, right? Okay. Source type is okay, source address, okay, destination address is 172.16.1.4, destination is 3389. Okay, I'm very sorry guys, that destination should be your firewall IP. Where is that? This IP. So if anybody is connecting to this IP, by the way, so connecting to this IP on the ports 50,000, what I'm going to say, okay, it should be translated to 172.16.1.4 on the port number 3389. Likewise, I'm going to go as spoke to VM, by the way. So I'm going to select TCP. So source I say anywhere, and again I'm going to say like same thing, this one. It's at 5,000 guys. You should give 50,000 because 5,000 they might applications can use. Let's give 50,001, and I should go to 172.17.1.4, and I'll say 3389. Okay, 3389, as you can see. So the destination is changing. I mean destination IP is changing, source IP. So what we can do, that's what I said, right? See, how can I decide if I'm trying a DNAT, if it is coming from here, whether it should go to this one or this one? That is decided by the 50,000 and 50,001 port. That is how it is actually differentiating. Okay, so I'm going to go back and add it. Add it. Now this is what I'm going to do. MSTSC, put the firewall IP. If you put firewall IP and try to connect, nothing will happen because our DNAT actually configured in. If I try to connect, nothing will happen, guys. Nothing to connect there. Okay, because by default it will try in 3389. If you don't give any port number, this RDP console is going to connect in 3389. I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to give 50,000, guys. Now if you see, it is asking check it out. Okay, now I'll go to the local host. See, spoke 1 VM. I'll get connected. So you got spoke 1 VM, guys. Similarly, MSTSC. So I'm going to give 50,001. Connect it. So give spoke 2 VM. Done, guys. So you can see spoke to VM. This is how basically DNAT rule works basically. Okay, so you can see spoke 1 VM as well as the spoke 2 VM. So you should notice that one. See, spoke 1 and spoke 2. This is the DNAT. So using the firewall IP itself, what we are doing, we are actually configuring a NATing so that if you use 50,000, it will go to spoke 1, 50,001, it's going to spoke 1. That is what a DNAT rule, guys. Okay, any questions, guys? Are we clear with the NAT? Are we clear? Yes, no? Okay.
Yes.
So these are the few things actually which are very important, by the way, which we need to do, which we discussed. So having a firewall and everything, and this is a real-time use cases, guys. Let me tell you, sir, you don't need to ask me, sir, in real time. You don't need to ask in real time, because this is only real time. This is how things work it out. Hub and spoke architecture, spokes connected to the VNet peering, and the firewall is actually logging all the making all the natting and source natting, and then sending to this one. And we also use a UNG gateway tomorrow if you want to go to the your data center. So you can actually use this one when you go for an interview. If someone asks me, could you please explain your environment, you can use this hub and spoke architecture. This is the best practice used by or proposed by like Microsoft to all the companies. Okay, right. So next thing we need to discuss is VNG, virtual network gateway. So what we'll do is we're going to start with virtual network gateway tomorrow. So but again, we need to have the same architecture, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the same architecture tomorrow as well, and we're going to use the VNG, and I'm going to show you how you can use the VNG to route the traffic towards your on-premises or AWS. Okay, chalo, now it's time for the decommission. Now it's very hard to delete one by one. So what I'm going to do is I'm directly go here, resource groups, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything. Especially first I'm going to get rid of this, not this one, sorry, hub RG. So delete the resource group. Why I'm getting this one, by the way? What? I'm asking to delete hub RG. What's this? Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm going to open hub RG. Okay, finally select this and delete it. So it will take time to delete. So instead of deleting one by one, it's very hard. So I go to spoke RG. Again, we're going to rebuild this area. Tomorrow, the plan is to discuss about virtual network gateways, and also we're going to talk about availability sets, guys. We're going to talk about availability sets, and also we're going, if the time permits, we're going to talk about a standard load balancer and application gateway. That is what we're going to do tomorrow. So hold on, let me delete this. Any questions, guys?
Sure, Dheeraj here.
Yes, Dheeraj.
Last week, which when I try to create resource group and VNets and subnet, after creating, some default there are one resource group is created, network watch RG. Is that
Don't worry, yeah, it will be created. It is for network watch, everything. It is no harm. You can delete it, or you can
okay?
leave it like that.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Questions, guys?
For this inbound and outbound, Microsoft creates deny all right traffic for both by default with the 65,000 priority. So is it any intentional set by them to avoid any misuse, or what is the reason for setting that?
Which one? 65,000 rules.
Yeah, when you create any network security group rule, right? Network rule, it has both as a deny all inbound and deny all outbound with the highest priority, right?
Now the priority don't works based upon the number. Let me tell you, since they because they gave us 65,000 doesn't mean that the rules go to 65,000. No, the rules, I think maximum rules it go up to 4096 only. So those are the rules which are default actually. So what they're trying to do is they are putting some rules basically like default. If nothing is there, those rules will apply. They are just a default rules. So if you don't want to assign any rules, it will take over. That's it. So doesn't mean that you can have rules up to 65,000. No, you can actually have rules up to, I think 4,000 is the limit. 4,000 or 5,000 is the limit. I don't know exact count, but it's not 65,000. Questions, guys? Questions? No questions.
Yeah, Harsha, before we close the class, can you show like how to access that Vimo videos?
Name,
Because,
please.
my name is Hari.
So, share your screen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Rather than I'm logging everything, it will be easy for me. So hold on. Let me make you presenter.
Okay.
Okay, share your screen.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
go to the.
shared my screen, and
Yes,
this
I can
is in
see.
my account.
Okay. So do you remember? Okay, I'm going to open a new tab.
New tab. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you a link. Access that link. Okay. I'm going to put in chat. It should be in your chat. Check it out.
Yeah.
Copy and paste it. You got it right?
Yeah.
Down. 1, 2. Click on. No. Click. It will show private actually. Click on the first one.
Yeah.
So that's the first one then. Yeah. That's the second one. Okay. Anyway, that's how you do that. Okay. Done.
Yes. Harsha. Thank you.
Can it be accessed through app? I mean, instead of just this URL?
Yes, many students will do from mobile app, but sometimes what will happen, you log out in that effective. I always propose to use the laptop or desktop, not mobile, but people will still use it. Questions, guys?
Trinath here.
Yes.
Sir, I don't know what is the problem with my Vimeo ID. Actually, I didn't receive the yesterday's video for this DevOps B14 batch.
Yesterday's video, you should get it because I'm pretty much sure. Yesterday or today?
Yesterday,
today?
Sir. Friday's video.
Friday's video. I have given. I'm
That's what
very much
yesterday.
sure. Before that, Thursday?
Thursday I received it. 14th one, but the 15th one I haven't received.
Okay, it's fine. I'll give me 1 minute, guys. I'm getting a call. I need to pick up this call. Hold on. Okay, let me check Trinath. Anything else, guys, before I close it off? I'm just checking out from at the back end. Where exactly it went actually? So hold on. I'll check it out, Trinath, and I'll checking out. So it'll take a little time. Anything else, guys?
Okay, can you share that JPG file so that we can practice for creating that?
Which file?
The architecture you created, right? That one.
I'll share slowly. Yeah. So you'll get it. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, have you created any WhatsApp group for this
No,
group?
not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I am yet to create.
Okay.
Looks like I didn't uploaded the 14th one, but Trinath, I need to check it and get back to you. Okay, but I don't see the
14th one I received. Even I did check with remaining team people, so they have received it. I don't know what's the problem with
okay,
my
they
Vimeo.
got it. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that one. Okay, it's not visible for me right now. I'll look into that. Okay, I'll talk to you.
Sure.
Chalo guys, see you tomorrow, same time again. Bye for now.